Yeah, okay. New player circle. So, yeah, okay. New player circle. So,
Hey man, say man, you already know what I'm gonna say, man. It's your local neighborhood player, Damone Jr. kicking in the Player Circle podcast. And we don't try to fit a square into a circle. And hey man, today, man, we got a very disturbing case. Case of a young man by the name of Jesse Butler out of Stillwater, California, I believe. Does the unthinkable to a few of his peers. Two of them that appear to be ex-girlfriends of his, you know. If you see what the title say, you see what the title say. He's accused of SA, both of these young ladies. And people knew about this. You feel me? I think people knew. Adults knew. His face ain't blasted on every channel though right now. And I was wondering why not. I'm watching Law and Crime. I love this channel on YouTube. You feel me? This is why I get the catching up and seeing how fucked up the world is. You feel me? But high school rapist cries to his mommy as cops slap on the cuffs. So when the police went to go pick him up, man, they putting the cuffs on. And he a big ass kid too. I'm gonna call it like I see it. So my nigga Dave Smith, man, what's going on, man? I'm gonna call it like I see it. This is a big ass team. You feel me? And motherfucker had the nerve to be crying after what he did to these young ladies. And somehow, after 2 SA charges, I don't know why he didn't get an attempted murder charge, but after 2 SA charges, he escaped with no jail time. And I hear no public outrage. You feel me? I just find it funny that, you know, the public was so outraged when a good young brother, Carmelo Anthony, defended himself and was granted his rights as a U.S. citizen to bond out of jail. You know, they were outraged. But this young man essayed 2 young ladies and escaped jail time. I ain't gonna hold y'all up too much longer without any further ado, man. You already know what to do, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get to the video. This one pissed me off, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Doing this one, it pissed me off. This one, I was pissed off watching this shit in the morning. I'm like, boy, I gotta cover this shit. I ain't really too much into filming on Sundays no more. That's why I'm on later than normally. But this story was just too crazy. This is insane. I said, we gotta shed light on this. This is insane. Law and Crime is behind the footage. Hopefully they don't try to copyright me for trying to push this story out there, because this is insane.
Taken into custody after committing brutal crimes against girls he dated. He may look meek in police body camera footage, but police say he assaulted, raped, and even strangled fellow teenagers. And a surprise sweetheart deal took his prison term from a possible 70 years down to 0. We're taking a closer look at how the teen and his mom...
This motherfucker went from 70 years to 0. How, Sway? How the fuck you go from 70 years to 0? Maybe he was the white complexion. Not the right complexion. Maybe he was the white complexion. You know? How the fuck, shout out to everybody in the building. How the fuck you go from 70 years to goddamn 0 jail time? Let me play this one more time for y'all, goddamn it. You see what he did. And this guy hear this shit. This shit crazy.
After committing brutal crimes against girls he dated. He may look meek in police body camera footage, but police say he assaulted, raped, and even strangled fellow teenagers. And a surprise sweetheart deal took his prison term from a possible 70 years down to 0.
Sway?
We're taking a closer look at how the teen and his mom reacted to police taking him into custody. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
This is insane. Shout out to everybody in the building. Don't tap your screen. You in the building, man.
Before we get into this episode of On the Case, I want to talk about our partner and sponsor, Upside. This is a free app that gives you cash back when you buy daily essentials like gas and groceries. And it's not for good reason. In August, 18-year-old Jesse Mack Butler of Stillwater, Oklahoma, entered a no contest plea to 11 heinous charges, including rape, attempted forced oral sodomy, and more. He was staring down a nearly 80-year prison sentence, but in a shocking twist, the court agreed to grant Butler youthful offender status, and instead of going to prison, Butler went home. with instructions on how to complete counseling and community service requirements. Butler's exact treatment plan, it's sealed in the court record, but the district attorney's office released this statement, quote, "The youthful offender sentence imposed against Jesse Butler requires him to complete his rehabilitation plan successfully, including an aggressive schedule of therapy with a specialist in sex offender treatment, and should he fail, he faces reclassification as an adult and a sentence of 10 years in prison."
So for some reason, they seem to think that this motherfucker was better off getting therapy, sex offender treatment. What the fuck? Who signed up for that job? Who signed up to try to treat niggas who's no, they don't need to be treated. They need to go in the back and be mistreated. Who signed up to be a specialist in sex offender treatment? The fuck? He has an aggressive schedule of therapy. Aggressive, complete his rehabilitation plan successfully. Aggressive schedule of therapy with a specialist in sexual offender treatment. How do you get a nigga to not want to sexually assault people no more through talking to him? How you do that? Or he get reclassified as adult. The motherfucker was 16. Motherfucker was 16, bruh. Come on now. That nigga grown as hell. He was 16. He knew what the fuck he was doing. But I'm gonna let the story develop some more before we get to it, because this shit crazy. Motherfucker knew what he was doing.
The change in punishment sent shockwaves through the community. It devastated the two girls who had gone to school officials.
This shit crazy. If he was black.
A mom of one
Hey, Derry.
That the families were
you know why
against youthful offender status from the beginning, and said that it was their understanding that the prosecutor trying this case would not accept a deal like that. Photos have been released showing one of the victims in the hospital after apparently repeated assaults by Butler. The victim's family says she ended up needing surgery because of...
I'm telling you, right? It's at this point, though, when y'all lose the gavel, now I got to get on some law-abiding citizen shit. Because he getting fucked up. No jail time? I don't, you feel me? Crime of passion. What? Little girl, alive and well, thank God. She alive and well. She able to tell her story. You feel me? The white complexion.
Severe damage to a vein in her neck. There are calls for the judge who approved Butler's deal, Special Judge Susan Worthington.
Special Judge Susan Worthington. You big body, little head having ass bitch. This the bitch. This the bitch that let him go. It's because his dad white. I'm blaming him too. His dad white. Nigga, the fuck is you talking about? It's because his dad. Y'all know, let the story develop, bitch ass nigga. My mama, bitch, is his daddy not white? Is his daddy not white? Like, let me know something. Let me know something I don't know. Let me know something I don't know. He got a black daddy? He got a black daddy? He got a black daddy? Let me know something. Do we got a black daddy named Tyrone that we don't fucking know about? Let me know something. Or else shut your bitch ass up and watch the motherfucking show. Fuck is wrong with you? It's not because he's white. It's because of his dad. His dad white bitch ass nigga. Sit back. Damn. Fuck is wrong with you? And it's because of this big body, little head having ass bitch. One eye open, one eye halfway closed looking ass bitch. It's this bitch fault. It's this bitch fault. It's this bitch fault for real, blood.
Youthful offender programs to discuss whether this one is a step too far. But first I want to let you know what two official affidavits have to say about Butler's behavior.
His dad's had something to do with the football in Oklahoma State. I know that. But his daddy's still white. You bitch ass nigga. You know what? Because you know what? I'm going to send you the link to Amazon so you can get you a mic, a camera, and shit. And then you can tell your story. You feel me? On my mama. Let me see. Okay, let me see you too, Biz. Okay, Biz. Get your Biz ass the fuck up out of here, bitch ass nigga. Get your Biz ass the fuck up out of here then, bitch ass nigga.
When he found out he'd actually be taken into custody.
I would have killed this
According to
nigga.
the first affidavit, a 16-year-old identified by her initials LS told a school resource officer in September of 2024 that she dated Jesse Butler for a few months earlier in the year, and that during that time he physically and sexually assaulted her multiple times, including trying to rape her inside his car outside an ice cream shop the previous February. The affidavit reads, quote, LS reported she yelled and told him no repeatedly and tried to push him off of her but was unable to overpower him. LS reported Butler told her he was sorry for what he had to do, but he had to do it. LS recalled hyperventilating because Butler intended to
Much love to Lil Son nonsense. What the fuck do we mean by that? Sorry is something I had to do, but it's something he had to do. She recalled hyperventilating because Butler intended to have sexual intercourse with her and she did not want to. This shit crazy. And it get crazier as the story develops.
Intercourse with her, and she did not want to. According to LS, a woman must have heard her screaming because she walked up to the car and interrupted them. LS told police that Butler told her that if the police came, they would both be in trouble. He reportedly took her back to his home where her car was parked and tried
this little pizza tomato face little motherfucker, bruh. They shoulda. This nigga got no jail time. It's cause he pink. There now. It ain't cause he white. It's cause he pink. There, you happy? I changed the color up. It's cause he white. It's cause his daddy white. And he has something to do with the football shit. You want your credit? I'm gonna put your credits in the motherfucking end of the video. Shout out to the nigga in the comment section. We know the story gonna develop. But yeah, man, this motherfucker got no jail time. Aggressive sexual assault therapy is fucking crazy.
Rape her again. The affidavit reads, quote, LS told Butler she needed to get home, but Butler pulled her on top of him and told her, you're not going until I'm finished. She said she was able to get away and go home, but this wasn't the only time that an adult may have witnessed Butler trying to assault LS. The teen says that she was at the Butler home in their movie room when Butler took his clothes off and tried to have sex with her. She says Butler's mom came to the door asking if everything was okay, but the affidavit doesn't say anything else about her reaction to what she might have seen or heard. In late February of 2024, Butler reportedly strangled her because she refused to have sex with him. The affidavit says, quote, LS reported she was hyperventilating and then recalled her vision being blurry and she was dizzy. She reported her head immediately hurt and she was confused about what had occurred. She was scared of Butler, but when she regained consciousness, Butler was laughing at her. Following this incident,
bro, that nigga was laughing when she woke up, bro. The nigga is a fucking creep. Fucking creep. And even how with all this shit in the paperwork, I don't want to say indictment, how with all this shit in the paperwork does this nigga not get no jail time over a football coach?
Butler and LS
the president
broke up in March 2024, and he started dating a girl identified as KS. And his disturbing.
Now, this is the second young lady. He broke up with the girl he already done sexually, you feel me, SA'd. Let me say that. He broke up with this young lady. That all went on. She had to deal with all that. Prayers out to her and her family. Pray she gets the therapy she needs to get through what she got to get through in life because of this motherfucking evil motherfucker. And then he gets no jail time. So now he's with another young lady, and this is her story.
And aggressive behavior allegedly continued. A second affidavit details the assaults KS says she suffered during the relationship. Quote, KS reported Butler had left bruises on her hips from squeezing her so tightly. KS reported the intercourse was extremely aggressive, but she reported she quickly stopped fighting it because Butler would overpower her and hurt her to get his way. KS explained that she learned what to and what not to do to avoid being hurt by Butler. According to KS, Butler would pin her down and she was physically unable to get him off of her. KS stated this would often lead her to hyperventilate, which Butler thought was funny. According to—
Now look, this is the second young lady that stated, she's hyperventilating and he laughs at her when he hyperventilating. So this motherfucker sick in the mind. He getting off to this shit. He find it funny. This the kind of little motherfucker kill cats when they a kid. You feel me? And they still decided that this motherfucker needed aggressive SA therapy, bruh. What is going on in the world, bruh? What's going on in the world? This is fucking crazy. And this fucking face ain't blasted on every fucking channel. Was crazy to me.
To avoid being hurt by Butler. According to KS, Butler would pin her down and she was physically unable to get him off of her. KS stated this would often lead her to hyperventilate, which Butler thought was funny. According to the affidavit, Butler also strangled KS so long that she eventually passed out. She reported she woke up on the floor of the living room in a home where she was house sitting. She claims Butler was livid that she wouldn't have sex with him in someone else's home, so she says he raped her instead. Later that same week, KS reported that Butler choked her again, and it's for a sick reason. The affidavit says, quote, KS stated Butler told her he wanted to strangle her so he could film it on his phone. And if
he wanted to strangle her so he could
found that video on Butler's phone, which showed him choking KS until she passed out. Butler was charged.
So they found the video on this nigga phone of him choking this young lady till she passed out. Hearing all of this, we ain't even 10 minutes in the video yet. Hearing all of this, right? Everything we just heard in 6 minutes. We all got the same idea. We want to throw the book at him. It's some more stuff we want to throw at him. Some of us want to throw some hooks at him. But the judge the district attorney, the defense, they all agreed that, hey, this would be best for this young man. This is the best outcome for this young man. And fuck the families of these young ladies. That's what they said. They had to. They had to sit down, have lunch, and decide. Fuck the families, this young man. But we know we gonna find out why later on. But we know why. God damn it. But we gonna also find out an additional piece of why this young man faced no jail time for 2 essays and an attempted murder that they found on the motherfucker phone.
And it's for a sick reason. The affidavit says, quote, KS stated Butler told her he wanted to strangle her so he could film it on his phone. And if you can believe it, police found that video on Butler's phone, which showed him choking KS until she passed out. Butler was charged in March 2025 with 10 counts. An 11th was eventually tacked on when he reportedly violated a protective order. And we got our hands on body camera footage from Stillwater.
So not only did you do all of that, you was a protective order in place. You wasn't supposed to contact these young ladies. Now you decided I'm contacting the young ladies anyway because you a sick fuck and you think you above the motherfucking law and can't nothing happen to your ass. So now they coming to get your bitch ass. We coming to pick your bitch ass up. Yeah, let's go get him. Go get his ass.
Officers arriving at the Butler home and taking the teary-eyed young man into custody.
The teary-eyed young man.
Obviously tell our story too. Yeah.
We need to tell our story too. This bitch need to be locked up with him. The mama knew. She heard them little girls in there screaming and shit.
Jess, it's mom. Open the door.
Jess, it's mom. Open the door. Lock this bitch up too.
And if you'll just have him step out. Okay.
This bitch need to be locked up with her.
Wallet and phone and stuff. So, okay. You're what? They're in the car. Well, okay, it's fine. It's not locked or anything, is it? Okay. So, can you tell him what you just told me, or? Yeah. So we're here. We're obviously gonna place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're gonna take you to the jail.
Don't cry now, bitch ass nigga. Nah, nigga, don't cry now, bitch ass nigga. Nah, nigga, don't cry now, bitch ass nigga. You was laughing when you was choking little girls out, man. Don't cry now, bitch ass nigga. You Teletubby ass nigga. Oh, my mama, don't cry now, bitch ass nigga. Your mama don't cry now. You wasn't crying when you found out that little nigga was doing all of this. When you heard these allegations, bitch, why you ain't put him in aggressive therapy, sexual assault therapy, bitch? My mama, bro, lock this scarecrow, wicked witch of the east looking ass bitch up with him. Oh, my mama.
Bondsman, and you shouldn't be very long.
Now you hugging
it's a process for paperwork and stuff. But
you
right now you do have to come with us, and I do have
long.
to put you in handcuffs. So turn around for me.
Yes, bitch. He a criminal. He's a thug, bitch.
You know we're doing this.
Telling you, white exhaustion.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted of stories like these, I tell you.
I'll get you out. Okay?
I'll get you out, you hear me? Lock the bitch up. She gonna be the reason. Lock her up too. I'll get you out, honey. Why, bitch? It was a protective order in place, bitch. Much love for the subs. It's a protective order in place. He violated that order. Contact these young ladies after what they accused him of doing. No, let his ass sit. Your ass gonna sit. You shouldn't have contacted their ass. Go sit your ass in there so you can see what it's gonna be like. So what's gonna stop him from going to do something to somebody else in the future? If he don't know no real punishment, even when he broke the protective order, mommy coming to get him from jail, and he gets no jail time. This is insane, not gonna lie.
Knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's on his way. We're coming to get you, okay? Just stay strong.
Coming to get you, okay?
Okay, so he's going to go right to the city of Stillwater jail, and if you'll just contact her, then she does this all the time. She knows what to do. Yeah.
Make sure
Okay.
she knows Stillwater Police Department, not county.
Stillwater Police Department on Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that we're the ones that picked him up.
And when we say we are Stillwater PD. Stillwater PD.
Bitch ass nigga.
Take over and go with the county.
Awful experience with the child.
It's an awful experience for a child. This is an awful experience for a child. What the fuck? That's the police. Oh no, that's the mama saying shit like that. That's the mama. Lock that bitch up. Every time I see her, I want her locked up.
Butler was
Love you,
released on a
Jazz.
$25,000 bond. When he entered his
Lock this Shawn Michaels looking ass nigga up. Lock him up. He gonna be at a college frat party someday hazing somebody. or doing some putting drinks and shit and they ain't even knowing it. I'm telling you, we calling this shit now and it's gonna be on y'all hands.
No contest plea over the summer, the mom of LS shared her victim impact statement online, and it says in part, quote, "I've had to carry this weight while going to school, trying to act like I'm okay. I've woken up from nightmares that make me feel like I'm being attacked all over again. I've had to explain bruises, explain silence, explain why I started isolating from people who loved me. You didn't just strangle me with your hands, you strangled my voice, my joy, my ability to feel safe in my own body. I will never forget the night you strangled me unconscious because I said no. The moment changed my life." A medical professional later told me that I was just 30 seconds away from dying. 30 seconds. If you had just kept your hands on my neck just a little longer, I wouldn't be standing here today. That wasn't just a scare. It was a near-death experience. You didn't just hurt me, you nearly killed me.
I think reading that from my kid probably wouldn't have made it through the court proceedings. I wouldn't have been able to just sit behind the motherfucker while he in that motherfucker. I'd have played it cool though, for sure. I'd have definitely played it cool, but I definitely would have got a running start, Superman punch off, like something, like got there, dove in the air and just landed straight to neck. Like, I'm gonna get my choke out of it, choking that nigga like Homer used to do Bart when both his hands used to close together on his throat. Like, they'd had to peel me off that nigga. They had literally had to peel me off that motherfucker. That's crazy. You ain't just hurt me, you nearly killed me. 30 seconds for my kid to know they were 30 seconds away from death at your hands. You would have I definitely would have made it through the court proceedings at all.
Later told me that I was just 30 seconds away from dying. 30 seconds. If you had just kept your hands on my neck just a little longer, I wouldn't be standing here today. That wasn't just a scare. It was a near-death experience. You didn't just hurt me, you nearly killed me. LS also addressed Butler's mom
my mama, bro.
saying, quote,
I wouldn't have made it through that shit.
I don't know if you heard me crying through the walls or noticed how your son treated me when no one was looking, but I hope you hear this now. Your son hurt me in ways that cannot be undone, and I need you to understand that your silence, your protection of him, or even your denial, that would hurt too, because someone should have stopped this. Someone should have seen the bruises and the fear.
Man, the mama knew. The mama knew. And it is to the parents. I don't know if you heard me crying through the walls or noticed how your son was treating me when no one was looking. You heard her crying through the walls, man. That's real, man. That's why I said the mama need to be locked up. She an enabler, and she need to be locked up with him. That's crazy, bro. Yeah.
Law and Crime's Jesse Weber recently sat down with Justin Shepard, known on social media as Just in the Nick of Crime, who did some of the first reporting on this story and spoke with people in Stillwater.
What have you learned here about how this is even possible? Because
here we go. Now here we gonna figure this shit out.
There's online right now that the Butler family may have connections that may have helped him get this so-called sweetheart deal. We couldn't confirm that. What can you tell us?
So I've spoken with some of the families as well of both victims who came forward against Jesse. There is a third victim who, she hasn't come forward, but can you blame her when you look at this as the justice that they get? So there's a third victim. And kind of like you said, the speculation is that Jesse Mac Butler's father is a man by the name of Mac Butler. And
okay, so this the Mac Butler, this the daddy. The nigga don't look black to me. Motherfucker said it's not because he white, it's because his dad. Motherfucker daddy don't look black, but that's neither here nor there.
He was the head of football operations at OSU for, I forget how many years, but for a pretty long time. He's, kind of a staple in that community. And when we're talking about Stillwater, Oklahoma, we're talking about OSU. For people who don't know, Stillwater is the town that Oklahoma State University is in. So there's a lot.
So his daddy was the goddamn director, the director of the football shit or the sports shit. So yeah, down south, that sports shit is big. It's a small, tight-knit community. So that nigga probably was banging that bitch back in 67. He probably used to knock that bitch up, go back in his old school Chevy and knock that bitch up or something, man. Cause the bitch gave the nigga aggressive therapy. What do that look like? What do that look like?
A lot of things tied to that. Mac Butler, it seems that he grew up there. His wife currently works for OSU. His daughter works for the public school system there.
$60,000 for my car crash from this app.
He had been hired as like a coach of some kind for Stillwater High School as well. So somebody with deep-rooted ties into the community, and that then leads you to the judge in this case, or one of the judges in this case, Judge Susan Worthington.
This big body, little head. Mama, who this bitch look like? Big body, little head having ass bitch. Mama, watch this. Google. What is that? Oh, that's what she looked like. Okay, I'm trying. What got a big body and little head? I'm trying to figure out what did the bitch look like. And it was this. Big body, little head, having ass bitch. That's what the bitch reminded me of. I'm sitting here trying to figure it out. And I'm like, it's the big body and the little head. That's what the bitch reminded me of. Big body, little head, having ass bitch. Yeah, that's what it was. I'm sitting there like, why do I know the bitch? Okay.
Between her and her father, the Worthingtons have had a hold on that bench for over 50 years. So while you can't necessarily say definitively that, hey, there's this connection here because he's deep rooted in football, she's a judge, they all grew up in the same town, that there's this kind of connection, but it's not really many difficult mental gymnastics to make that leap, right? That, hey, this is a town that
bitch look like a gooba.
Requires the college, needs the college.
Bitch look like a gooba.
It's very deep rooted into the system, that they're very much supportive of OSU.
That bitch head was so little, but her body was
very
big.
Close-knit, and that's kind of what's being speculated, to the point that even it's now gotten the attention of one of Oklahoma's lawmakers, Representative J.J. Humphrey, who's also running for lieutenant governor. I'm
Shout out to J.J. Humphrey.
A little bit more details, but
yeah, and if you can, I don't know if it's already, but Representative Humphrey is talking. My understanding is about a potential investigation.
Investigate that shit.
Is there going to be a formal investigation into what happened here?
It sounds that way, yeah. And so he kind of looks at it in the same way. He was telling me that he's got a lot of background, in the court system and investigation before he got into politics. And he said, basically kind of the same thing that
this little motherfucker look. Do this nigga look like a nigga that need? He do look like a nigga that need aggressive therapy. But he looked like he need to be locked up. Yes, I'm judging a book by its cover. Yes, I'm not ashamed to say I'm prejudiced all the damn time. I will judge your ass. Yes, that keep me safe. Being prejudiced have kept me alive. Real talk. Growing up in Oakland, California, being prejudiced kept me alive. Real talk. And on my mama, this nigga look like he need to be locked up. He look like he gonna repeat again. I just take one look at this nigga. Yeah, repeat offender. He already got 2 offenses.
Can he say definitively, or can he prove right now that there's a connection? No, but his exact words, but it sure as hell smacks like it.
It smacks like it.
So he's like, it's worth an investigation. So he's thinking about, wanting to put a grand jury together to do an indictment, possibly, the conversation we had, which we'll go a little bit more in depth in, I don't know if that could bring additional charges against Jesse, because when you look again at the litany of charges, there are some that should have been on there that weren't. Like, in my opinion, as not a lawyer, why he wasn't charged with attempted murder when one of the girls was near death.
I myself, sir, have never done time in the prison. I did not know what the prison look. See, look, you judging the book by its cover. It's just you misjudged. I know this nigga gonna repeat offend. You could look at his face. Booty face ass nigga. Pizza booty face ass nigga. This nigga gonna repeat again. I take one look at him. You feel me? You just lost your parlay money. My parlay probably gonna hit. Aggressive therapy.
And so those are kind of the conversations. But he feels that not just Stillwater, that entire
sure does smack like it, Kay. Sure does smack like it.
He said it flat out. There's corruption, and he believes that this is no different than that. And it merits an investigation.
Joining us now to talk more about this case is Judge Brandon Birmingham from Dallas, Texas. Thank you, sir, for being with us here on Law and Crime. In this case, there's youthful offender status, which is what the...
No, that's all love, man. I'm with the jokes, too. How you doing, Thomas?
You know well about in your...
All jokes, man. I'm with the love, man.
What is youthful offender status?
It is
shout out to you, good brother.
Designed really to those that are juveniles or on the cusp of being a juvenile, where the punishment for certain crimes is lesser than it would be for an adult, and they have certain programs, certain conditions under the law that the judge can order somebody to go through, and it's a little different for those that are younger than it is for adults.
How does that compare to, because in this case, the defendant was 18 years old at the time that this deal was reached.
So it happened when he was like 16, took about 2 years. By the time he was 18, by the time it was reached. So he 18 now. He was doing all this shit as a youngster. What's this about? What's this guy do? He essayed 2 young ladies. The first young lady he essayed multiple times, broke up with her, got with another young lady at school, essayed her. Not only did he essay her, he choked her out till she was unconscious on multiple occasions. One occasion, He forced her to let him film it. He filmed it, and when he was arrested, the police found this recording on his phone. So now we talking attempted murder, clear-cut case of attempted murder, clear-cut case of attempted murder. And this man gets no jail time. Aggressive sexual assault therapy is what the judge ordered, and community service.
But it's not a situation where maybe he was 15 years old or 14 where this would be a juvenile
Yeah, the
case.
nigga
How
was
does the youthful
16.
offender status compare to what you might see in a juvenile case?
It's just a function of punishment. I think there's the idea in assessing a punishment that, those that are younger are more likely to make mistakes and need to learn from those mistakes, as opposed to somebody who's, let's say, in their mid-20s or maybe in their 30s, or, that's an adult that we expect them to behave in a certain way. And there's, maybe not laws that are written in a formula, but I think when considering what a person's punishment ought to be, somebody's age and experience has always been taken into account.
Yeah, shit crazy.
In this particular case, this was a no contest plea, so this was a deal that was reached.
So this was a deal that was reached. He pled no contest, meaning they have enough evidence. What does a man profit to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? Mark 8:36. So this motherfucker pled no contest, meaning I can't fight it. We got to say y'all got enough evidence to convict me. I'm going to just say no contest. No contest means the district attorney, why did the district attorney accept this plea? He could have denied the plea, and the judge could have denied the plea. The judge could have been like, nah, man, this is misjustice. This is not justice. We're going to take this shit to basically trial again. We not doing that. I ain't taking that. But they chose not to.
Between the defense and the prosecution. For you as a judge, just when these cases go through, and what is your role in this? Because I think for there to be in a case like this where there is going to be criticism, and that's just the way it is, and I know with your job that there's always going to be criticism of the system in these types of cases. What is the job of a judge? What are you looking for if a prosecutor and a defense attorney come to you and say, we've reached this agreement that youthful offender status is what we're going to move forward with?
Well, the job of a judge really is to make sure that all of the processes are followed to a T, and that everybody, both sides has availed themselves to the opportunities under the law to be prepared and to have what they need in order to be prepared. So you're really at that point sort of an umpire that's just making sure that all the boxes have been checked. We do have the discretion and the ability to reject a plea, and if we reject a plea, then we don't get to just put our own stamp on it and say, I reject the plea and I'm going to sentence you to 50 years. Essentially what the rejection of a plea does is it takes everybody to square one.
He went to court looking like a raver in the goggles, looking like Shawn Michaels or some shit. Bret Hart. Nigga went to court looking like Bret Hart. And they in that motherfucker striking up poses and shit. They feel like T Grizzly. I went to trial back to back. Bitch, I'm 2-0. They feeling like T Grizzly. This nigga probably dropped the first day out. You feel me? Video and shit. That's crazy. So you hear this judge down from Texas says, we do have the authority to say, hey, we ain't taking this plea. We're going to go to another jury and we're going to figure this out because we don't accept this. But they all agreed on it. And that's what's spooky. That's what's creepy. And that's what screams corruption. That's what screams corruption. Not going to lie.
And puts it on the trial docket. But that is an extraordinary remedy. And so what you're looking for at the plea is what information has led both sides to come to this agreement. And the judge has the ability, if they want to seek out that information. And because we do have the ability to say, no, we're not going to accept it. It's unjust or it's unfair or the process hasn't been followed.
So why not do it?
In this case, Butler could have received, if the maximum, if he had gone to trial all the way through, the maximum would have been roughly 70 years in prison. Instead, through this youthful offender status, he is going to have a treatment plan that he has to go through with different requirements that he's going to have to meet. But you look at what he was accused of in this case, and it's very difficult to read through. It was violent. What are some of the factors that a prosecutor and the defense attorney you're working with, when determining that youthful offender status is a good resolution for this, how does maybe violent tendencies, the threat of maybe reoffending, how does that go into whether or not this person would be a good candidate for this, as opposed to what could have been?
I don't like how they saying, what if he reoffends when he already reoffended? He did it to each young lady multiple times. He's reoffended multiple times. This nigga is a serial rapist. He's a serial rapist. He already, what that shit called they be talking about on Criminal Minds? He's already advanced. His murder. He went from just SA to SA, and now he's, choking. He want to see if he can kill somebody. He's evolving. That's what they say. He evolving. You feel me? This motherfucker already evolving in his criminality. That shit sound good. I've been watching too much Criminal Minds. That shit sound good. He evolving in his criminality. Lock his ass up. Aggressive therapy, treatment, community service, 0 jail time. Son, you went from 70 years to 0 jail time. Motherfucker was looking at 70, 0 jail time is crazy.
I mean, the good majority of his life in prison.
He already advanced.
A prediction of what you think might happen in the future.
It's wild and scary. That's wild and scary, for real.
One of the ideas is that somebody's history will indicate how they're going to react in the future. And so when you're saying, okay, does this person deserve more, a lighter sentence or rehabilitation?
Yeah, he just got caught. He definitely would have continued.
Can they be rehabilitated? And is there still hope for them to be rehabilitated? That's one component.
And then another thing, right? Something that just bothers me. If they found a video of him choking the young lady on the phone, what does that have to do with the SA charges? We into a different realm now. He is physically assaulting people. She passed out on the video. Like, the medical examiner say she was 30 seconds away from death. What the fuck is y'all on? And how is this okay? A slap on the wrist is crazy for this. Slap on the wrist is crazy work.
A nuanced issue. The other one, of course, is what are the facts of the case? In other words, if somebody could commit a horrible crime, they might have all the potential to be rehabilitated, but the crime itself is such that maybe that they just need to be punished. And there's always that tension between what's best for the defendant on the one hand, what's best for society, and then, of course, what's best for the victim. And
what's best for the defendant is probably the craziest statement made out of this whole shit. They'll put you under the jail for dealing weed, a pound. Look, I ain't gonna lie to you. But if you rape somebody, you get therapy. He'll repeat, of course, with the 2-girlfriend experience that shows him how to repeat the assaults. And now he know the role to play too when he get in this shit. Like, he know the role to play. This nigga gonna be sneaky with it. He gonna get away to it. Not only will he reoffend, but he gonna reoffend and he gonna get away with that shit. No, that's real facts. That's real facts.
That voice is heard in the sentencing process. But all of it, to go back to your first question, the lawyers are assessing their cases. And there's strengths and weaknesses in every case. And allegations are allegations. You've got to eventually, if you're the prosecution, line up your proof and make sure that you're right, because you don't want to lose. You don't want to even go forward if you're not right. And so I think plea bargains are also a function of the quality of proof by view of how the lawyers assess their case. And so, unfortunately, with a plea bargain, the public doesn't always have all of the information because there's no...
All right, so that means these dirty motherfuckers. This why Boosie don't fuck with you, dirty motherfucker. These dirty motherfuckers was like, look, it's the evidence we got. The prosecution was scared to lose. They like, we don't want to lose with the evidence we got, so we gonna try to make some kind of plea. But y'all plead for no damn time? No damn time? Stop crying. White people need happy, fun time too. I'm telling you, this is where white exhaustion come from. Right there. This is where white exhaustion come from. I'm exhausted with this shit. I'm tired, boss. That nigga say, stop crying. White people need therapy too, man. That shit crazy, demonic. Even this YouTube shit, motherfuckers really get on YouTube and let out how they really feel. That motherfucker probably in his community, he probably was touched by somebody though, and I'm sorry for you. He probably was a victim. He probably was victimized. The nigga that just commented that, they a victim. And now they victimizing people. That's why he find that shit funny. Because he was they were fondled. You feel me? Somebody was touching that inner thigh. Had them touching uncle's inner thigh, you know? And I feel sorry for your mother. You feel me? I feel sorry for your mother. Real talk, G. Real talk. Get you the help. Go get you some aggressive SA therapy, bruh. So you can heal and you can stop passing on the hurt. I know they say hurt people, but you got to stop the cycle somewhere, good brother. You still my brother in Christ. You still my brother in Christ, you know? But you got to let that shit go, bruh. You got to let that shit go, bruh. You feel me? I know you Still probably spitting out pubes and inner thigh hairs and shit. Nightmares about that shit. But you gotta move past that shit, bruh. It's above you now, bruh. Let that shit go.
Trial, and the trial is why I love trial so much, is because you do get all the information. You get to see the witnesses, you get to judge their credibility, you get to see text messages or videos and all that. In a plea, the public really doesn't, so we are sort of left to speculate. But as a plea bargain, and somebody who's presided over thousands of them and done them myself, plea bargains are functions of proof and your assessment of how strong your case is, whichever side that you're on.
And this is a case, and I think when you read the allegations against this defendant, you hear, the victim impact statements. I mean, it's hard not to be emotional for what these girls had to go through. And I'm sure the judge who...
Even as a woman, a judge, like, damn, you would have thought he was cooked. You got a woman judge? Cooked. This motherfucker went from 70 years to 0 jail time. How?
For this deal, knew that there was probably going to be some criticism of it, considering there wasn't going to be 70 years for a period of time in adult prison because he's 18 years old. Not asking your opinion of the decision for this to be youthful offender status, but just as a judge, I mean, it's so rare that we get to actually talk to somebody who sits in the chair. How do you deal with some of those deals that may come across that are public, that may have criticism of it, and knowing that you're presiding over something that's probably going to get a lot of heat from the public and from people, there is probably information we don't know in this case, but you know that there's going to be a lot of frustration from the public when it goes through.
And I've been in that situation before many times, some of it in very public settings and some of it not public, but either way, as a judge, that every decision you make, you're going to disappoint precisely half of the people that are looking back at you, and sometimes everybody. And so what you have to do is fall back on what your role is as a judge. And we are process followers. We make sure that the process is followed. We also make sure that everybody stays within their roles. And so that is procedural justice, procedural due process. And so we have to adhere to that. The public outrage is going to come. And we're not here to be popular. We're here to be stewards of the law. I think that there's accountability for that too, in the sense that the decisions we make, we are not the end-all be-all. If there is something untoward that's gone on in any given case, there's a process in place, a review process. We answer, unlike the Supreme Court justices of the United States, we do have a reviewing body that looks at whether we did something that was outside of our processes, and we have to be held accountable for that, and we should be. There should be a transparency. I guess the line is that we could never be held accountable for a decision that we make within the realm of discretion. We can always be held accountable for decisions we make that are outside of that process, outside of the law, whether it's ex parte communications, bribery, things like that. That is where we can be held accountable. We can be held to.
So what happened? Let me know some.
We're seeing now, there's a call, I think, into some of, what caused this plea to happen in Oklahoma. And I would hope that to the extent that it can be transparent and accessible to the public, that I'm sure everybody involved
I need to see what happened.
Responsibility very seriously.
What was going on at those meetings?
Justify why they did it, or at least make sure that there was nothing outside of that zone of discretion that played into this.
Why is everyone
like who related? Who fucking who? Somebody fucking somebody.
Definitely killing him.
Because him going to jail is going to fuck up somebody's image. Because what?
Treatment plan that he's going to be going through. Is there any sort of monitoring of him that could continue on? Like I think of someone who, if he was 26 years old, he goes to prison, he might be a registered sex offender when he comes out, and he has to follow those guidelines. In many states, it would be for the rest of your life. In a youthful offender status situation like this, once he finishes the treatment plan, what would happen next?
Well, if he finishes it successfully, he doesn't go to prison. I think that one of the parts of this is that he has to complete it, and if he doesn't, then he's looking at, I believe, up to 10 years in prison as a result of that. So there is some accountability for him to finish, but if he finishes it successfully, then he's off of what is very similar, I guess, to like a probation. He's off of that status, and he's free to live out the rest of his life.
No registering as a sexual offender. So that means you don't gotta let little kids know you live in the neighborhood, because when he get old and creepy, he gonna be on that shit again. He gonna be on that shit again when Paul Pierce posed is crazy. When he get old and creepy, when he get old, he gonna be old and creepy. He gonna be back on that bullshit, back on the prowl, rolling around in a truck looking for little girls, man. And it's gonna be your fault. Cause this nigga gonna be been so polished as a fucking essayer because you motherfuckers done let this motherfucking serial rapist on the damn street.
And obviously too, anytime you Google his name, for the rest of his life, there's a weight that comes with that because he will be associated, with this case, which is so difficult to hear. When it comes to recidivism rates, and I know that that's always a big topic of conversation, how effective Not speaking in terms of this case, but just generally speaking, are these youthful offender status cases?
Well, they
He
can
gets treatment and Diddy got time. Is crazy work. Say that shit again, good brother.
Here in Dallas.
That's fucking crazy. Diddy in jail. This nigga got treatment.
They were 17 to 25, and I don't mean to say that this is one of those things. You know, they're geared.
That shit crazy.
But with the right environment, you try to seek out the root causes of the problem. That could be substance abuse, that could be mental health, and if you can treat those problems, then you go a long way towards making sure this doesn't happen again. But that does not.
That nigga did all this shit sober. I don't give a fuck about this nigga going to drug treatment, alcohol abuse treatment. None of that shit gonna stop that nigga from being a freaky motherfucking man. He a freaky. That nigga already, he a freaky frog.
You freaky frog.
He a freaky fucking frog. It's over with. It's done. Ain't no treatment.
Freaky frog.
Ain't no rehabilitate. I don't even like that. Ain't no rehabilitating for that shit. You a freaky man. You a freaky man. You ain't no rehabilitation.
As a way to get out from under accountability and punishment in the appropriate circumstance. So it's that tension that we talked about right at the very beginning. You know, what's best for the defendant, what's best for the public, and of course, what's best for the victim. And they're having their day in court as well.
Yeah, and you know, this is just such a.
This next story we finna run brought me to damn near tears, bro.
Encouraged they had to come forward.
This next story.
Parents have been frustrated with this. We'll see.
Man, fuck this nigga. We finna run this next story. My mama, fuck this nigga. This nigga mama need to be locked up. They need to lock that bitch up. They need to lock this nigga mama up. Hey, bitch, if you ever see this, bitch, I know what you did, bitch. You heard them kids crying. You heard what was going on. You heard what your freaky ass son was doing. You heard that shit. You knew he was killing them cats. How many cats this little nigga killed when y'all was coming up? When he was growing up? How many cats he killed? How many cats y'all had to fucking bury because of this little motherfucker? Huh? You know, you knew. And bitch, until you do right, bitch. But that's neither here nor there, man. I hope God get a hold of you, good brother. I hope God gets a hold of you. I ain't gonna wish nothing else on you. I hope God get a hold of you. Because, man, oh, man, you reap what you sow, good brother. And you might not reap it the way you put it out. That image of the girl in a wheelchair when his victim did 30 seconds from caused any brain damage. If, like, he's the type to have a girl locked up in his house in a bedroom or something, that is facts. No, they didn't say she had any brain damage or anything like that. They was good. I think that was just right after it had happened. So, man, that's really messed up. She had her throat, like, cut. I don't know how he did that to her. I mean, from strangling her, they say. But that was a bad image, man. That's crazy, man. So, segueing from that, man, is a story of a man from where the fuck was this at? We gonna probably have to look more into this. This man who reported that his daughter was SA'd, you feel me? He reported it. These individuals decided that they was gonna kill him. You feel me? That's absolutely crazy. A Ferguson father who reported the rape of his teenage daughter was murdered after refusing a $12,000 bribe to stay quiet, police say. Damn. Described by his neighbors as a real good dad, was shot through a glass door of his home on July 8th. Prosecutors say 3 men, LeVar Harmon, Anthony L. Young, and Anthony D. Young, orchestrated the killing to silence him, then murdered the gunman they hired, Andrew Claus, later the same day. Oh, these motherfuckers was on bullshit. This world is fucked up. Love your kids. Love your family, man. Spread love. Let everybody know how you feel about them, because this world is wicked. It's wild, bro. Damn. This is crazy. New charges. It's insane, man. Let's get to this one, man. This shit crazy. The world is fucking crazy.
Ferguson man who reported the rape of his own daughter. 3 family members stand indicted for the murder of Corey Warren, who was gunned down after refusing a bribe to drop charges in a sexual assault case. Our Megan Kernan is live outside the Ferguson Police Department, where prosecutors announced indictments just hours ago.
Corey Warren's best friend tells me he was the best person on earth and a great father. His family still hasn't come back home since the killing. And these 3 men are now charged, accused of working together to silence that father, murdering him and then murdering their own hitman.
One of the most senseless acts of violence that I've reached and have seen this year.
Ferguson Police Chief Troy Doyle says Corey Warren's killing was calculated, cruel, and personal. On July 8th, officers say Corey Warren was shot through the glass door of his Ferguson home that you can still see 3 months later.
It's real good, Dad.
Damn,
I couldn't ask for a better neighbor.
Investigators say Warren was shot after refusing a $12,000 bribe to stay quiet about charges against Lavore Harmon, accused of
this motherfucker. And this is damn family. Black for life, what's going on, man? Shout out to my guy in the building, man. This is insane. This is insane, bro. This motherfucker raped a little girl and then killed her daddy for not taking it. Nigga, you ain't got $12,000. You ain't got $12,000, bitch. And there's no number you could put on that, bitch ass nigga. You going to jail. You lucky, bitch, you should have been going to hell. You lucky I ain't sending your ass to hell. You got off by a nigga telling on your ass, bruh. He should have sent, now if he would have sent your ass to hell, you lucky he was a God-fearing man, because if he wasn't a God-fearing man, he would have sent your bitch ass to hell. But now we here, bruh, and you done got with some other bitch ass niggas to do this senseless ass crime.
raping Warren's daughter. Prosecutors say Harmon, his uncle Anthony L. Young, and cousin Anthony D. Young coordinated.
So this nigga, this is uncle, and this the uncle's son, this is cousin. These motherfuckers, Tone 357, what's going on? This shit crazy. So this shit, these creepy motherfuckers then decided this nigga won't take the $12,000 bribe to shut up and be quiet about what I did to his daughter. So we just gonna kill him. And they killed the motherfucker they hired to kill him the same day.
Warren's murder with their associate, Andrew Klaus, who later that same day was also shot and killed. All three men now face 2 counts of first-degree murder, armed criminal action, and felonies like statutory rape.
I would have never thought something like this would happen around here. But
Neighbor Hugh Deberly was home the day Warren was killed.
next thing I know, I heard about 4 or 5 gunshots. Then I seen them running across my yard into a car, and they took off, and they tried to revive him, and his kids are out there crying.
Warren's neighbors remember him as a devoted dad and friend.
Well, they took a person's life. You know, a person was trying to do right, and they killed him for it. So they should have to pay too.
Prosecutors said this was not being charged as a murder for hire plot, but that could change if evidence points to that. Harmon is held on a $2 million bond in St. Louis County, and the Youngs are in federal custody, also on $2 million bonds each. Live in Ferguson, Megan Kernan, 5 on your side.
We stream today's news conference.
That's fucking insane, bro. Ain't gonna lie, bro. This motherfucker is getting worse by the day, man. Love your people. Hug on your goddamn people, man, because you don't know, bro, what the fuck gonna go on, man. You don't know when a motherfucker gonna check out this motherfucker, because the world don't seem to be getting any better. These men done killed this father, man, because he reported y'all instead of and y'all, which he should have. You feel me? He should have just got rid of y'all or you, and now, you know, he done lost his life, and his daughter got to live with that, man. Prayers out to the family. Our condolences to that family, and praying for strength for that young lady, man, for all the young ladies that we spoke about tonight, man, praying for strength for all of them, praying for peace, and just praying for comfort for them young ladies, man, for the hard times that they dealing with now and the hard times that they're going to have to deal with, you know. Yeah, man, that's fucked up, man. We going to lighten the mood. I'm going to lighten the mood up, man, in a sec, man, because that was crazy, bro. I got to change the whole little shit. That was insane. Crazy work, man. Crazy work. Crazy work, bro. That shit insane, man. Hold on. Let me see. That was insane, bro. Yeah, man, I was sitting back. I was watching that shit. I said, bro, I wasn't even supposed to film today, but I was like, bro, I gotta go cover this shit. That shit dumb as hell. That shit dumb as hell, bro. Yeah, this nigga Trap LaRosse in trouble again. Cause he did this Young Dolph documentary. I don't know what's going on with bro. Yeah, I don't know what's. If they get out, they coming for that girl again, I bet. Because no dad to protect her. And I bet she gonna feel some type of guilty and it's her fault. That's what's fucked up. But still, young lady, say something. You gotta say something. You gotta say something. Don't ever be silent for fear of what may happen. I tell my little girls that all the time. Speak the fuck up. I don't care what they say they gonna do. You play dumb. Play like you ain't gonna tell. Play like you scared. But hey, let me the fuck know. Ain't no secrets. Let me the fuck know. Let me the fuck know. You know? Let somebody the fuck know. On the real, don't suffer in silence, man. On the real. Traveler Ross, Young Dolph, Doc. This nigga in hot water, bro. This nigga. This shit sick, bro. This world sick, bro. I lost my godmom when I was like 11, man. So a motherfucker killed her because she didn't want to be with him no more, man. Shit was crazy to me. But I was 11 when I found out how sick this world was, bruh. Came home from school. My granny made me do my homework. She went straight upstairs. She was crying. I didn't even know why. I went upstairs after doing my homework. She was watching the news, and I seen my mama on the news, and I'm like, damn. Then I seen my little cousin. I'm like, what the fuck, man? My godmom house, and my godmom, my cousin, and my cousin's boyfriend were all killed by my godmom's ex. You feel me? And I was 11. You feel me? That shit crazy, but I knew then, like, bro, this world is fucked, bro. You know? And you got to be a protector of the women. And I always been that way, man, with the young ladies in my family, whether that been my little cousins and shit. They knew they was calling cousin Scooter on my mama, and he sliding. Don't let a nigga raise their voice, hand, and or any of that. And they gonna find the fuck out. And that shit got me in a lot of trouble. You feel me? But that shit, I knew as a young age, man, no, we gonna protect these women, man. That's real, man. Much love, man. Appreciate that. We knew we gonna protect these women at all costs. At all costs, you know? It was a triple homicide, Oakland, California, man. RP cousin Rashida, RP my godmama Trish, and the young man who lost his life. You feel me? That's how I was 11. Damn. And that was October 23rd. The anniversary of that just passed. You feel me? But I knew then, yeah, we got to protect these ladies because this world is insane. And this shit still going on. So that shit blow my motherfucking mind. That shit blows my motherfucking mind. Like I said, I'm going to lighten things up now. I was watching, before I came up here, man, I was just watching this Trap Lord Ross documentary, man. This nigga, the Memphis gangsters are furious with him for this documentary he did on Young Dolph, where basically he's saying it's Young Dolph's fault that Young Dolph got killed. You feel me? He basically like, look, it's Young Dolph's fault he got killed. That's basically what he's saying. Essentially. I love getting to use that word right there. I don't feel like it be belonging when people say that. Essentially, you feel me? I don't be feeling like it belong, but I love getting to use it though. So essentially what he's saying is this Young Dolph fault that Young Dolph was unalived. You feel me? So the Memphis goons is on his ass right now. The Memphis goons ready to get on this nigga. But he's across the pond. It's not like he's going to come to Memphis. Yeah, I got in trouble because I had to protect my older sister from an idiot my sister was dealing with. Yeah, be there, man. And a lot of brothers and fathers is in graves and in a cell because of situations like that. And I know that's why young ladies don't be wanting to speak up, but young ladies speak up. Men, let the women in your life know you can speak up, you can say something. And it don't always got to be us doing something because we also don't react right. Just be me being grown now. We be having the wrong shit in mind though, like, you feel me? So it's just all about how you do things, how you handle things. If you can handle things the right way, handle things the right way before you take any other action, man, you know? Do what's going to allow you to still be around to protect your family. I'll leave you at that. Do what is going to allow you to still be around to protect your family, and whatever that means to you, let that be what it means to you. But a lot of time we take the wrong route when you could really like make a paper trail route. They'll tell you like, this is a tricky subject though, right? Because look, you a gangster, you a street nigga. You supposed to crash out, blitz about your child. Supposed to crash out, murder a nigga, go to jail, and do the time. Leave her on the street with more creepy fucking motherfuckers in the world while you sitting in the jail for the last nigga you killed. But she grows up without you, right? The game in the streets tell you that. You can't go tell her, hey man, go make a police report on that nigga that put his hands on you. Let me go take you to the gun range, baby girl. Because this is what you're supposed to do. We're supposed to be at the gun range with these little girls and teaching these little girls how to shoot so they can own a firearm. And when a nigga put their hands on a young lady, go tell the police. Go straight to the cops. Go make a police report. This nigga put his hands on me. I'm scared. That's your first pass, nigga. You don't even know. She's saving your life going to the police for you. Go get your fucking police report, young lady. Fold it up. Say that. Motherfucker put his hands on you again. Report his ass again. Get you a restraining order now. Now you get a restraining order and you let them know you scared for your life. Get you some victim of a violent crime money. Move on the state's dime. Get the fuck up out of there. Move. Now you got a restraining order. You got moved for free because you're going to do it on victim of violent crime. And you got more evidence that this motherfucker, you had to move in hella shit. You had to move in hella shit because this motherfucker had been threatening you. He done did some shit. So now you had to move. So now the third time this motherfucker approaches you to do anything, rockabye, baby. And you got your documents to show, hey man, I did everything in my power to get away from this motherfucker, to be free, to be alive, and to not be unalived. There was no choice. I was scared for my fucking life. Scared for my fucking life. You give all this to the attorney. You don't say none of this shit to the police. Don't talk at the station. Attorney. Give him your gun. Yeah, my gun right there. Look, this is why our young lady's supposed to be at the gun range instead of at the goddamn club twerking. Supposed to be at the gun range. Arm yourself, especially if you don't got no felonies, young ladies. You don't got no felonies? You're supposed to be at the gun range every weekend. You and your girls, let's go to the range, bitch. Let's learn how to shoot. My mama. Learn how to fucking shoot. Protect your damn self. That way you ain't got to call your daddy and brother who got felonies, who can't come do nothing, to do something. You put a motherfucker down, yeah, come get his ass. He's stinking. That's just the way it got to be. That's just some free game for the ladies. That's just some free GAME. Because that's what we supposed to be telling our young ladies. Like, call the police on their ass. Don't call me. Call the police. If you mean it, you really don't want to fuck with it, call the police on his ass then. You ain't going to go back and fuck with him again? Because that's a lot of shit that happened. You might beat the nigga up, and then they go back to fucking with the nigga again. Now what? Then you asked out. You might beat the nigga up, right? Because I done had that. You might beat the nigga up, and then they get back with his ass. Now it's like, what the fuck? So we got to protect ourselves too, fellas, and tell our sisters and call the police. We got to stop that shit. When it's a woman of girls, that shit don't count for girls. Call the cops. Don't call me. I can risk my freedom and my life. Call the cops. No, mama, if they don't want to call the cops, it ain't serious. It ain't serious. Call the cops on their ass. That way it could be a paper trail, even if you don't do something. Now, if I do something, I can say, man, look, my little sister, my cousin, my daughter, whoever, I can say, man, it's a paper trail. This is what happened. Y'all wouldn't protect, and I had to go do my thing. It was a crime of passion. I'd rather go sit with some evidence like that than just going off some bullshit. But we don't be thinking like that. We don't operate like that. We really need to. But we gonna get to this shit. Trap Lord Ross. This motherfucker from across the pond. He got himself in some shit with the Memphis Goons because he just dropped a documentary on Young Dolph where he basically saying, hey man, Young Dolph got himself into that situation. He was the antagonist. That's why he got smoked. So apparently Memphis gangsters is on his ass. I don't know what that means. Ain't like a motherfucker gonna be in Memphis. You feel me? But we shall see. This world is crazy and not gonna lie to y'all. So let's check this shit out. Much love to everybody who in the building, man. Appreciate y'all if y'all here. Hit that sub, double tap your screen, like that shit up. We got daily content, lives every night. You understand me? 7 o'clock to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, man. Y'all tap in with the good tap in.
big trouble. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm already in big trouble, okay? So look, I'm going to tell you a little bit of background about what I've done, why I might be in trouble, and how hopefully we're going to resolve this situation, okay? So just 2 days ago, I released a new documentary on the main channel, Murder Memphis, how 12 people died for young Dolph. Now, people have been on my case for months and months. Do a young Dolph video. I obviously did do a video about young Dolph, kind of loosely related to what happened to him over on this channel, like probably over a year ago now. It was mainly about Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jerk, and how he passed away, and how allegedly a lot of people have been sliding for Dolph. But I took my time. I came back with this. This is a 2.5-hour full-blown deep dive. It's even longer on Patreon, okay? And I basically break down so much backstory that you've never heard before. A lot of people have done videos about young Dolph, but nobody's really gone this much in detail. And the thing I really wanted to get to the bottom of in this video is exactly why young Dolph and Yo Gotti were beefing so heavily.
Young Gotti.
Like, what actually is going on between these guys where things got so bad? Now, one of the reasons this video is so controversial is because I'm kind of putting
this
down
nigga really got Harry Potter glasses. What's up, mate?
No disrespect to young Dolph. I'm a huge young Dolph fan, okay? But through the course of my research, watching a lot of other videos, following the trials, following the cases, it seemed to me that in a lot of ways, you could argue that young Dolph was the antagonist in this beef. I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm not saying it's justified, but as you're going to see, like, there's a lot of things that happened way back in the day where it seemed like young Dolph really was antagonizing Yo Gotti and you know, maybe kind of applying pressure. And look, the narrative that young Dolph was kind of...
Did you see they killed Big U's son? Hey, not only did they kill Big U's son, hold on, G. Speaking of that, ooh, good looking. That's for the alley-oop. I did have that stashed over here, too. Not only did they kill Big U's son, but they say they caught the nigga that did it. They say they caught the nigga that did it already. Big U killer call. Here we go. They say they caught that nigga already. I always been a Dolph fan because of the Miami Dolphins, mate. They say they caught a nigga. It's crazy. He talking about this nigga snitching. So do I supposed to let the killer nigga be in my backyard? Oh, y'all couldn't even hear all of that. Do I supposed to let the killer nigga be in my backyard?
Hop the fence and did some whole. Fuss is all about. Hey, hop the fence and did some whole. They somewhere over there.
Nigga, you was telling too. He was calling people a snitch. Nigga, you was snitching too.
It's crazy.
He finna call them a snitch over there. You start telling as soon as you seen the police. He hopped the fence right over there.
This nigga over here snitching. They caught his ass right there.
They caught his ass. Thanks to you, nigga. You need to go. You need to go get credit for that, nigga.
They got him right there. He got that all black on. I already been to that weed shop like 2 times, and that doesn't look like that area. That looks like they're inside of a neighborhood, so that to me was a red flag. Second, ain't it funny how the guy on the video was snitching? In the beginning, he was telling the police where they ran and where they hid. Then he turned around and called another man a snitch. The audacity, my boy. Hey, hop the fence and did some whole. They somewhere over there. Hey, hop the fence and did some whole. They somewhere over there.
A few moments later.
This nigga over here snitching.
I gotta go get the Charlie
Another
Murphy
red flag
rap.
to me
Hell
was
no.
this. There wasn't any police chase, and nobody was running on foot. The shooter was in a car. He blamed them from inside of the car. Then they took off in a car before police arrived. So I can say 100% that this video is fake. I also seen a lot of people blaming it on the Hoovers, but there is no proof that the Hoovers did anything. According to the police report, Big U's son walked up to the car. Basically, they're indicating that he knew who the person was. I just looked up the case right now, and as of right now, there was no arrest made. So this video is 100% not true. R.I.P. to Big Yui, and condolences to Big U and his family.
Retaliation for that shit happened an hour.
There's one AI site builder you
an hour after
this is dope tech
the body hit the ground. They say some retaliation went down.
Now this whole flow.
That nigga slow. On my mama, Brookfield. What's happening? That nigga slow. I said that shit, right? That nigga slow, but he got like 50K followers. And I'm like, and that shit sped up, I think, too. I be having to speed up when that nigga talk, man. Shout out to Compton Rick Rock for the motherfucking content, man. They say Big U son shit on fire right now, man. It's been retaliation already, man. An hour after, so they say. I be playing niggas intros because I be hoping if niggas review my shit, they play mines. You feel me? Let my shit play. You feel me? Let my intro play, G.
TMZ. Now, either he got a plug over there or his girlfriend got a plug over there some way, somehow. Anyway, man, Loose Cannon came to TMZ and he said him and his uncle, we call him Big U his uncle now. I'm reading some. I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to put this up on the screen so y'all can see it. Tells us they are both heartbroken over the matter. It is a heartbroken situation. He says them both being in prison makes it no easy. However, he said God makes no mistakes and the pair will get through trying times together. Now, I don't see Big U and Loose Cannon hanging around in jail. This definitely can't be true. But it's on TMZ, so, and they called him the mogul. This is what makes me think that Loose Cannon paid for this to get his story on TMZ. The only way I can see this working, man, to make Big U feel good is if he doing it with his backside. That's the only way I can see Loose Cannon making Big U feel good. If he doing it on his backside, it's crazy. Doing it with his backside, or them both up in the same bed that Loose Cannon crawled up in, and Big U told him, man, get up out of here, man. I'm trying to come over and give me that backside. I want that backside. We're gonna get to this content, man.
Some of that backside is crazy work.
And waiting for them to show up in the mail. So
he was just on bullshit. Some of that backside.
What did he say?
What did he say? He was just on that bullshit.
Several people hurt after a shooting in Westmont. Bullets went flying at around 12:45 this morning. 3 people taken to the hospital, and we're working to find out how they're doing this morning. The LA Sheriff's Department says a white Tesla was seen driving away from the scene. Stay with Today in LA Weekend as we learn more.
What it do, y'all? We back with another video. Make sure y'all don't forget to hit the notification bell, like and subscribe, man. Hit the comment section. So it seems like, they got a quick get back for the murder of Baby U, Big U's son. It's crazy, man. It's a triple shooting that they saying happened in the 107 Hoover neighborhood. It happened an hour and a half later, approximately, to when Big U's son was actually unalived in Halloween in front of the smoke shop on 69th and Fig. So it's not just a coincidence, y'all. I mean, they did blame the Hoovers, even though where the triple shooting happened is in the 107 Hoovers. I don't know if they actually just going for every neighborhood at this point, hit every Hoover set, whether it's the 748 tray or 107, or maybe some people blame the 107s, who knows? But at this point, it's really cooking up, and y'all know the last few weeks, the last few months, it's been real dangerous. There's been a lot of back and forth between Hoovers and their enemies, other neighborhoods like the Main Street.
Well, that LA shit is not safe. They going to smoke shops. Boy, I've been to stop smoking fucking with LA. You can't even go to the damn smoke shop. I can't even go to the goddamn smoke shop because you niggas on straight bullshit on me. You gotta stay the fuck out of LA. Let's get back to this Trap Lord Ross shit, man. This nigga got the Memphis motherfucking gangsters on his ass. Let's see why, man.
Cases, it seemed to me that in a lot of ways, like, you could argue that Young Dolph was the antagonist in this beef. I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm not saying it's justified, but as you're going to see, like, there's a lot of things that happened way back in the day where it seemed like Young Dolph really was antagonizing Yo Gotti and you know, maybe kind of applying pressure. And look, the narrative that Young Dolph was kind of so innocent and they were trying to shoot at him all the time, that, you know, that is fair. That's one way of looking at it. But from a lot of the stuff that I found during my research, it seemed like Young Dolph was really applying pressure. They're saying Yo Gotti got shot up a couple of times. You know, there was a time he got shot. You know, Young Dolph got shot 100 times. He was in a bulletproof truck. I'm hearing Yo Gotti got shot at a bunch of times in a bulletproof truck. So this wasn't a one-sided beef. This was a serious conflict that Young Dolph was a big part of. Unfortunately, he is the one who ended up losing his life. But I kind of recapped everything in this video, and I really tried to trace back the actual, like, the original from the very start, like the OG origins of this beef and how it all got put together. And now apparently I've upset.
And it's crazy, right?
Analysis. So
the sick fact is that this nigga did all of that shit sitting at home on a fucking computer. He did all of that shit sitting at home on a fucking computer. So just imagine what the police could do, right? If this Willy Wonka, if Harry Potter could sit and do all that shit sitting at home on his computer, what do you think the bloody police can do to solve a crime? If this bloody Willy Wonka could sit at home on his bloody computer, come on now. That's why crime don't fucking pay. Don't do no fucking crime now, bruh. It's 2025. Your ass is getting caught. Your ass is getting caught.
What I think would be good is if we kind of maybe like recapped and had a little listen to just some of the backstory from this video as far as actually how this beef ended up getting started. And then we're going to lead up to something that I said that, that allegedly has really upset some people in Memphis, man. So let's just have a little recap. We'll look at some comments and then I'll tell you why I'm in so much trouble. You star.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. You just need a concept and a way to record it. Here's how.
During the 2000s and 2010s, the gangs of Memphis would increasingly splinter into numerous small neighborhood cliques, or what the police call hybrid gangs, made up of members that rep many different traditional gangs, like the Bloods, Crips, GDs, and Vice Lords, and some would become so popular or infamous that they attracted youths far beyond the active core members. And as people would later reminisce on social media, if you grew up in Memphis
much
in the late
love
2000s
to Tone
and
for the
early
super
2010s,
chat,
there's
good
a chance
brother. I
that you wrecked
appreciate
among
it.
gangs such as the Trula Mafia, Goon Squad Mafia, Fast Cash Boys, Fam Mob, King Gate Mafia, or Young Mob. These gangs came from roughly two different
helps
parts
the
of the
police
city,
with
North
his
Memphis
media.
and South Memphis.
No, that's
In
a
North
fact.
Memphis, the most infamous gang was likely the Fam Mob.
They don't even gotta do their job.
It started all the way back in 2000 and was still active in areas like Fraser, North.
Shout out to Wifey. She gave me this conspiracy, this theory. This theory came straight from Wifey. These niggas do not have to be regular snitches no more. Like, you don't gotta, not just talking about the Trapler Rosses, but like a nigga who wanna snitch, I don't gotta go down to the police station. Nigga just get on and start a podcast and start talking too much. Like somebody we know. I ain't gonna say no names, but his name sound like Officer Back.
Raleigh, and Millington, although their main headquarters were at 2 low-income housing projects in Frayser, the Ridgecrest Apartments, which they called Afghanistan, and the Greenbrier Apartments, which was named Iraq. According to the lore told by the police, Fam Mob was started by a group of 8 youngsters who were kicked out of the Gangster Disciples because they were acting so wild they were bringing heat to the entire gang. And the name. So I just want you guys to understand what's going on here, right? Look, the Memphis streets are extremely complicated, okay? There's a lot of gangs
kicked out of the Gangster Disciples.
Bloods, Crips, GDs, Vice Lords, and now you've got these young guys, okay? Fam Mob. It's a bunch of youngsters who, even the Gangster Disciples said, you guys are too wild.
Much love, man, on the support, bro. Y'all being here is a lot of support, man. I appreciate that, man.
You're doing too much. It's like, and so that's how serious these streets of Memphis are getting. Okay, you got guys that they're too wild even for the GDs.
The GDs kicked them niggas out. That was too wild for the GDs. It's crazy.
So important to the origins of the Young Dolph Yo Gotti beef, and I just feel like nobody really touched on this. But obviously, I've gone so deep that some of the people have actually got upset. And FAM, according to the cops, is actually an acronym that stands for F Almighty, with Almighty being a reference to the Vice Lords, who are also known as the Almighty Vice Lord Nation, as Vice Lords were also
Adam 22, Vlad, all these niggas,
fans. This is why the gang would also spell the name FVM, meaning that the A is inverted to disrespect the Vice Lords. Fam Mob would grow up to be 150 members strong by the mid-2010s, and they'd often end up...
Can we blame these niggas? Because, bro, these niggas put everything on the internet, bro. So they leave it open for niggas to go and do this shit, though. Like, they make it to where this nigga could be across the pond and do all of this research on these niggas. What's going on, Rob, man? How you doing tonight, good brother? Yo, Gotti. Yeah, Adam don't care about nothing. Boy, I'm telling you, I'm running all this shit. Y'all can't hear nothing. Yeah, Adam weird as shit, not gonna lie.
Disrespect the Vice Lords. Fam Mob would grow up to be 150 members strong by the mid-2010s, and they'd often end up in the local news for committing crimes from assaults and robberies to drug and gun sales and even murders. And the city would eventually set up safety zones at the Ridgecrest and Greenbrier projects that banned members of Fam Mob from associating with each other in public. But during the early 2010s, the members of Fam Mob would also start a music group known as the FMG, with at least one meaning for this moniker being the Finesse Music Group. This crew included rappers like Bezel, Source, and Birdo. The Ridgecrest Apartments, where the Fam Mob had their so-called headquarters, according to the Memphis police, are the very same projects where Yo Gotti originally hailed.
Yo, Gotti.
The Bay area, we just left the north, now we're in the Bay. This Ridgecrest, that's where your boy started out at, right here on these same streets.
While Yo Gotti would also rep another area in North Memphis, around Garland Street, and had even been associated with Fam Mob's enemies, the Vice Lords, and some rumors, as he would rap on the 2017 song 101 with YF and Lucci and Meek Mill. He would seemingly become somewhat affiliated with the Fam Mob during the 2010s, and particularly the FMG crew, who were often repping Gotti's CMG label on social media, with some FMG members also rocking CMG chains.
If you're a producer who hates AI, this plugin might change your mind. This is Reimagining Co-Producer. You can take any...
So I explained all of this, right? Because I think it's so easy for people to get lost in the sauce about Yo Gotti versus
Lost
Young
in the
Dolph,
sauce.
Paper Route Empire versus, Creative Music Group or Cocaine Music Group, I think it was known at some point, CMG. But all of this stems from these old school gangs in the 2010s, all right? And Yo Gotti's kind of getting sucked into it. He's having sort of beefs with certain gangs, then he's kind of getting cool with them. So this gets so deep, all right? And I really, really tried to trace this back. And guys like FMG Source, aka Source the Boss, even seemingly being part of Yo Gotti's
Source the Boss.
Fam Mob were also affiliated with other gangs from North Memphis, such as Fast Cash, aka the Fast Cash Boys, or FCB, as well as Stack Squad, aka Stack Squad Money Gang, or SSMG, a crew who were seemingly so close with each other that the Memphis police considered them one gang, which according to them had been founded around 2011. Many of the members seemingly hailed from the area around the Raleigh Egypt High School in Raleigh. And according to Memphis police, Fast Cash was also another so-called hybrid gang with members from traditional gangs coming together, and their name too would be associated with numerous serious crimes in the local newspapers. But Fast Cash were also very popular through their music, with their group that simply went by the name Fast Cash Boys, originally including the members C Money.
I never knew that's what that stood.
Having real underground hit songs going all the way back to the early 2010s, while the Stack Squad would also drop music.
They tried to switch it up to stay out of trouble, but yeah.
Like FMG and Fam Mob, Fast Cash Boys have for a long time seemingly been associated with the Yo Gotti CMG. Meanwhile, in South Memphis, the most infamous gang was allegedly the Young Mob, aka Young Mob Military or YMM, which was founded in the mid to late 2000s and held particularly from the Walker homes and the surrounding neighborhoods like Westwood. Like Fam Mob, Young Mob's name would begin to be mentioned in the local news in the early 2010s in relation to numerous serious crimes. The most tragic being the murder of a 7-year-old girl in 2015. But like Fam Mob and Fast Cash, Young Mob has also produced numerous rappers. The first one to receive significant fame being OG Boo Dirty, who would rep Young Mob in music already in the late 2000s and began receiving national attention with his music in the very early 2010s. So OG Boo Dirty, man, this guy was a real problem for Yo Gotti. He starts getting tapped in with Gucci Mane, and then Young Dolph enters the picture. But originally, this whole beef is a Young Mob versus Fam Mob. It's a North versus South Memphis, war basically at this point, okay? Getting signed with Gucci Mane.
They asking for the police to start a case, for real.
Gucci and Boo Dirty's shared hatred for Yo Gotti, but more about that later. So they're clicking up, right? OG Boo Dirty hates Yo Gotti.
OG Boo Dirty.
Yo Gotti. They're all clicking up, all right? And then you got the Young Mob and the Fam Mob. They're all kind of tied into this. In Memphis, the gangs evolve so much. They go from, they evolve, they click up, they break apart, they get affiliated with different crews change side. It is it's one of the most complicated videos I've had to do, all right? But OG Boo Dirty is a problem. We're going to hear more about him in a second. Boo Dirty also had a brother called Stupid Duke, or Spooky Duke. These two allegedly being among the founding members of Young Mob, including also CEO or BEO Lil Kenny. And Kenny would begin to rap a few years later than Boo Dirty, while Stupid Duke would only begin to rap a few years ago after serving a 9-year sentence. Other notable Young Mob members included Big Motor, whose 2015 music video for the song Live with Kevin Gates has almost 2 million views. Kenny Money, who is also signed to Young Dolph's PRE label, and Moneybagg Yo, who is originally from the Walker homes and was allegedly part of the Young Mob before having a falling out with his gang, but more about that also later. Like Fam Mob in the North, Young Mob also had a few gangs in South Memphis that they were close with, such as the Kinggate Mafia, particularly Goon Squad Mafia. Kinggate Mafia, aka KGM, hailed from the Kinggate apartments located in the Whitehaven area, which is better known by the locals as Blackhaven. These projects are now partly demolished and known as the New Horizon Apartments. KGM also had some rappers like Ray Gutter, who dropped several songs and music videos with tens of thousands of views in the early 2010s. Goon Squad Mafia, on the other hand, hailed particularly from the Foot Homes and Clearborn Homes public housing project. Although according to Redditors, the gang was spread all over the place, likely partly due to both Foot and Clearborn Homes going through significant redevelopments during the 2010s, which forced families to move to other areas. GSM would also be active in the rap game in the early 2010s, but their most known rapper is likely none other than Key Glock, who would later sign to Young Dolph's PRE just like Kenny Money, and the two even have songs together going all the way back to the mid-2010s. So look, right, this Young Mob, Fam Mob thing, this is kind of not really a big thing in Memphis in the modern era, but back then you got all these famous rappers and their affiliations. You got OG Boo Dirty, obviously you're hearing now about Key Glock having affiliations.
Every time you say that, it take me out.
With the other side, like all of this stuff.
OG Boo Dirty
years went on, and that's what people don't get about Memphis. There was also another gang hailing from the Foot Homes, the Trula Mafia, although this gang would too seemingly have presence all over South Memphis, including areas like Orange Mound, where they could be seen hanging out in their YouTube vlogs, which is close to areas like the Castilla Heights, where Young Dolph hails from. Their alleged leader and the most known rapper was called J Money Trula, who would begin receiving some notable underground fame in the mid-2010s, after he would for some reason become heavily affiliated with none other than Chicago's Chief Keef. Their friendship becoming so close. So J Money Trula, right? He's a really important figure. Okay, he's one of the most important people in this Trula Mafia set. And again, as you're going to hear, all of these affiliations begin to get complicated, and there's a big back and to the point that J Money would begin to call his gang Glow Gang Trula or Glula Gang in honor of Chief Keef's Glow Gang. J Money was a very respected member, and he would collab with numerous artists from different hoods, but Trula Mafia was seemingly particularly close with the Young Mob and their affiliates, and J Money would make songs with the Young Mob rappers like BEO Lil Kenny, Big Motor, and even Moneybagg Yo, while also having made a song and music video with Young Dolph that was for some reason never released. Unfortunately though, like things usually go, all these gangs were not cool with each other, as there was a major divide between North and South Memphis at the time, with particularly Fam Mob and their affiliates, and Young Mob and their affiliates going at each other hard, as can be seen from numerous diss songs and other videos that are still up on YouTube.
Imagine being able to build an app just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Most notably from Young Mob's side, the dissing came from OG Boo Dirty, who would release several dedicated diss songs towards both Yo Gotti and Fam Mob in the summer of 2010. One of these songs titled simply F Yo Gotti, where he calls Yo Gotti, while another one would be a remix to Rick Ross's hit song BMF, which Yo Gotti also remixed with the name BMF Memphis, where he shouted out numerous Memphis street legends like Craig Petty's and G-Train. So OG Boo Dirty starts going at Yo Gotti, all right? We got the Young Mob, Fam Mob beef is going on. But this beef doesn't stay contained to the music. This beef ends up spilling out into the streets, and this really ends up being leading to one of the first incidents that sparked this decade plus long back and forth that culminated in Dolph losing his life. Boo Dirty would focus on dissing Gotti in his remix and insinuating that an incident had taken place at a club where Young Mob had allegedly tried to approach Yo Gotti and his entourage, but the Memphis police were present. Unfortunately, as these lyrics hint, the beef wouldn't just stay online and on tracks. And on the 29th of November 2010, an altercation between Young Mob and Yo Gotti and his entourage, which likely included fan mob
one
members,
punch to the face. Go back to making videos.
So the Young Mob, they're trying to apply pressure to Yo Gotti and the fan mob. Okay, they pull up at a nightclub, they get into altercation, and this is where everything goes left. And really, to me, this seemed like the inciting incident for the Young Dolph Yo Gotti beef, and not a lot of people have really drilled into this. Allegedly, a verbal altercation would first start between Boo Dirty and Yo Gotti after a third person tried to intervene. The fight would get physical, this led to guns being drawn, and 6 people would end up getting shot during the chaos that ensued. One of the people shot was Boo Dirty himself, who would get hit in the buttocks, but thankfully, none of the injuries ended up life-threatening. A few weeks later, the news would report that Yo Gotti was wanted by the Memphis police in relation to the shooting incident. The following day, it was reported that 11 people were charged with an aggravated riot, which included Yo Gotti, real name Mario Mims, Boo Dirty, real name Lance Taylor, as well as BEO Lil Kenny, real name Kenneth Mason, who was only 19 at the time. The news. So it all goes down between the fan mob and the Young Mob at this party. Okay, 6 people end up getting shot. They're saying that Yo Gotti was a shooter. Allegedly, he was involved, and OG Boo Dirty ends up getting hit himself. It would also report that this was by no means the only charges that Boo Dirty was facing, as he already had 2 other attempted murder charges from previous shootings that had taken place only a few months earlier. One of these took place at another club, and the other was a drive-by shooting, while he had also allegedly targeted the same victims with an aggravated arson. So this OG Boo Dirty was a problem, all right? And they're saying aggravated. They're trying to burn ops houses down and shit, okay?
They had these niggas in the newspaper. Shit.
And this really is from the beginning of street beef. This was never really no rap beef. And that's they're going to skip this. You know what I'm saying? They're going to skip this. People want to go and try and paint Yo Gotti and Young Dolph, and Yo Gotti wanted to sign Young Dolph, and Young Dolph was showing respect to Yo Gotti at a certain point, but there was absolutely no way of getting around the fact that this beef was already frying in the streets. In January 2011, police would also arrest and charge Stupid Duke, real name Brian Lackland, who had allegedly also participated in the club incident against Yo Gotti. The altercation would become the first publicized incident between these two sides, but in the grand scheme of things, this was only the very beginning, and nobody could have seen at the time that this war would end up going on for well over a decade, and spilling over to include many of the most popular rappers to ever come out of the city of Memphis. While Yo Gotti, OG Boo Dirty, and their associated crews were deep in the North versus South Memphis war, a new rapper from Memphis was plotting his come up. This was, of course, none other than Young Dolph, who had released his first mixtape Paper Route campaign in 2008. Dolph hailed from the Castalia Heights neighborhood in South Memphis, an area that's largely its own island due to an industrial zone, vacant land, and train tracks surrounding it from all directions. Not surprisingly then, the kids from this area would seemingly rep Castalia above all else, with one gang from this area being called the Castalia Murder Mob, or CMM, which has alleged members who were affiliated with Dolph, such as the rapper Snoop Bands, who's part of the PRE label's current roster. Dolph himself, though, was seemingly never an active gangbanger, but rather a hustler who treated the rap game with the same attitude as the dope game, starting by pushing out mixtape after mixtape in the early 2010s, such
I don't get it. Y'all have money to go out there, but there's rival gang, and that's all. Instead, let me see. That's all that. Instead, you can't have a house party with your people. You can avoid all that shit. Never go to club. The only club I go to is the booty club. I stay the fuck out, man. I ain't gonna lie. That shit dangerous. In 2010, High Class Street Music 1 and 2 in 2011, and A Time to Kill and Blue Magic in 2012. Behind Dolph's music operation and alleged dope operation before that was seemingly his business partner Daddy-O, real name Jeromel Moore, who came to know Dolph in the neighborhood from a young age, first providing him with the so-called package, and later allegedly helping him to finance his independent label, the Paper Route Empire.
I met Dolph shooting basketball when he was about 10 years old. It was in the hood. We were hooping. I think you look up to me, man, because I used to have that jumper and that crossover. You feel me?
I'm Sora 2, a new AI in town.
We're not afraid. I had what he wanted, the package.
Because Dolph wasn't directly gang affiliated, he had seemingly no problems working with rappers from all over Memphis, and in his early interviews, he would often shout out Yo Gotti, despite infamous South Memphis gangs like Young Mob already having a beef with Gotti that had turned violent.
You know what I'm saying? Salute to all the big dogs, you feel me? Salute to Gotti, salute to my boy Juicy J, you feel me? We tripping, man, you know what I'm saying?
Gotti 360, you know what I'm saying? They let the world know what Memphis is about, you know what I'm saying?
In 2012, Yo Gotti would even bring Young Dolph on stage during a show in Memphis to showcase the new talent coming out of his city. But later that same year. So, right. What you're about to hear is exactly why this all went frosty. Because even after the Young Mob, Fan Mob confrontation, Yo Gotti, there's a big shootout, OG Boo Dirty gets hit, all of this stuff, okay? Yo Gotti is still on good terms with Young Dolph. He's bringing him out at shows. Young Dolph is doing interviews. He's saying salute to Yo Gotti, salute to the legends, salute to the OGs. Things are good, okay? But that shooting that went down That's going to leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. And then here is the moment, really. This is probably the moment that Yo Gotti decided that he hated Young Dolph. Because he linked up with OG Boo Dirty and Gucci Mane. They had both linked up because they both don't like Yo Gotti. And then Young Dolph hops on the song with them too. Now the question is, do you think Young Dolph really knew what he was getting into? Okay, there's been a lot of these rumors about, did he really know? Was he really low-key dissing Yo Gotti? Or was this thing where he didn't even really know how serious this beef was at the time? I'm not sure, but Yo Gotti was not feeling OG Boo Dirty linking up with Young Dolph at this point. Yeah, Dolph would also collab on a song titled We Gone, together with OG Boo Dirty and Gucci Mane, who were both beefing with Gotti heavily at the time. The 2010 club shooting incident had at this point largely passed without major repercussions to either side, as the aggravated riot charges were dropped against Gotti, Boo Dirty, and several others due to lack of witnesses, while Boo Dirty had also beaten his separate attempted murder charge. And meanwhile, the two sides had continued holding deep grudges against each other. Gucci Mane and Yo Gotti, on the other hand, had fallen out after they both decided to drop their mixtapes on the 17th of October 2012, with Gucci obviously having a special connection to the 1017 date, lash out against Yo Gotti.
All my label mates try to mixtape on 1017. Why would you drop it if you ain't on 1017? And when I call you as my partner to ask you why you did, you say, oh, I didn't know you were dropping a mixtape. Now the whole world know I'm dropping this mixtape. I'm promoting this mixtape. Both me and you on the top of World Star. You with a freestyle and me with a video. But you say you unaware that this mixtape gonna come. And I got a battle that says come out 1017. So it just made me lose all respect for him instantly.
The song We Gone, where Dolph featured, was a simple, getting high anthem, but it was part of OG Boo Dirty's mixtape, The Definition of a G, that he dropped in December 2012 after signing with Gucci's 1017 Brick Squad label. And another song on this mixtape was Boo Dirty's collab with Gucci and Rocco titled Rap N-Words, which was a dedicated diss track towards Yo Gotti, where the trio rapped how they can't stand these rap dudes because they're so fake. And the collaboration between Gucci Mane and Young Dolph would continue in March 2013 when they would release a full mixtape together titled East Atlanta Memphis, which... So, Gucci Mane is putting on and showing love to a guy that had a shootout with Yo Gotti in the club. All right, and their crews aren't seeing eye to eye. Now, Gucci Mane's on some industry beef stuff. He's mad that Yo Gotti's trying to drop his mixtape on the same day as Gucci, saying everybody knows I drop on 1017. It was disrespectful. Okay, so they're linking up, and Gucci is rubbing salt in the wounds. All right, he's linking up with OG Boo Dirty on multiple songs. They've got entire songs where they're saying F these industry guys, F these rap guys, they're all fake. He's dissing them. And then in the midst of that, Young Dolph is hopping on a song with these two guys. He's putting his foot right in it. And then he's doing a whole mixtape with Gucci Mane. Now, obviously, that's a good look for his career, doing a tape with Gucci Mane.
Yeah, why the fuck wouldn't I do a tape with Gucci?
This was seen as massive disrespect to Yo Gotti. And again, it's just that thing of like, this is no disrespect to Dolph, but I want people to understand that Dolph really was putting his foot in it and antagonizing Yo Gotti in a lot of ways over the years, where really unless I missed something, I've not seen any shots from Yo Gotti.
Okay, so this is probably why the Memphis goons on your ass. It's like, but why though? Where did this come from to make you just out of nowhere just drop this documentary saying, hey, Young Dolph started it. It was him messing with Yo Gotti. What made this shit happen? Is it because Hernandez Govan got on your ass? What made you do this? Is it because Hernandez Govan told you he was going to get on your ass when he saw you?
Gotti towards Young Dolph in these early stages, but Young Dolph is hopping on songs that these guys are really having shootouts with. Dolph would continue in March 2013 when they would release a full mixtape together titled East Atlanta Memphis, which also included another feature with OG Boo Dirty on the track Get It Back. Clearly, while Dolph wasn't yet beefing with Yo Gotti directly, he had silently chosen his side in the beef, which had appeared to be the side of South Memphis and Young Mob. Meanwhile, things in the streets would keep developing. During the summer of 2012, while Boo Dirty kept beefing with Yo Gotti on the music side, his brother Stupid Duke, aka Brian Lackland, who had seemingly also avoided charges in the Club Riot case, would get his face blasted on the local news, as he was now a fugitive wanted by the Memphis police on very serious charges, including aggravated robbery and attempted first-degree murder. These charges stem from an incident where Duke and some other guys had allegedly set up a guy to get robbed by using Duke's girlfriend to lure the victim to Young Mom's territory. After the robbery, however, the victim would realize that he was in possession of Duke's phone, which would help the police go after him. But Duke, on the other hand, was in possession of the victim's phone, which also had the victim's address in it, and before the police could get after Duke, he tried to go after the robbery victim by going to his house, guns blazing, leading to the attempted murder charges. Duke was eventually found guilty of all of these charges, leading him to be locked up for the next 9 years. But meanwhile, the street beef between North and South Memphis would keep escalating. In March 2013, Young Mob and True La Mafia members were seen together at a South Memphis club, where according to online rumors, they would run into some Fast Cash members, including the rapper Fast Cash C Money, who would allegedly get robbed by the leader of True La Mafia, the rapper J Money. Later that same night, Young Mob and True La members would stop at a gas station near the
That's
club,
crazy.
Fast Cash members would...
That's crazy. That's crazy. This nigga know his history. This nigga know his history. Hold on. Hey, blood, them niggas came out. Let me see. That's crazy.
You're home for
crazy
the holidays.
Work. He
Back
went
in
old
old
school.
room.
Oh.
This was back in my motherfucking backsliding days, you know? I'm going. Back to the bay. Rest in peace, Mac J. All I do is talk, yay. Hey, that's crazy. Trying to break a record like a DJ. Yeah, the niggas came to the east. Bottles in one night. That's crazy. I get it, bitch. Right. To the act, right. This your brother, Foolie. I don't know. It should say Dave Smith, nigga. This shit crazy. He talk about nigga know his nigga said my nigga was in the Benz. Ah, look at my goofy ass, stupid ass fade. Ah. That's crazy. Back to the bay. Rest in peace, Mac Dre. I'm a street nigga. All I do is talk. We in the old ass Benz too, nigga. I'm surprised they whipped out hammers on us too. Hey, we had the thing going. Hey, not gonna lie. B, nigga, what's up, nigga? What you been? Hold on, blood. On my mama, blood. Let me make the screen, nigga. Hold on, blood. You ain't been coming in this motherfucker every week, fucking with me every week, and not letting it be known it was you, bruh. Get the fuck out of here. That nigga said this be him, nigga. Shout out to my big bro, man, in this motherfucker. That nigga said, nigga, this be him. Nigga, you ain't said it was you the whole time. Nigga got a alias YouTube. You gotta be under though. What's up, be him? I love you, big motherfucker. That nigga said, nigga, this be him, nigga. He said, nah, he don't know no damn Franklin. Tell him I was there when he shot Big Bro at MacArthur Park. Where'd he shoot him at? At MacArthur Park, you big dumb mother. Nah, man, where'd he shoot him at? Oh, in the ass. Everybody know he got shot in the ass. Shout out to my big bro in this motherfucker.
A 20-year-old young mob member named Young Key, real name Key is Sean White, who would die in his girlfriend's arms at the scene. These events would pull the Fast Cash Boys into a direct conflict with the Young Mob and True La Mafia. In the following weeks, the police would arrest and charge a 19-year-old Calvin McMickens, better known as Fast Cash Jizzle, and a 17-year-old Courtney Smith, aka Fast Cash C-Money, for the murder of Young Key. But that's not where this case would end, because the following summer, when the case was about to go to trial, Jizzle, who was out on bond, and another Fast Cash member called Chopper Suge, real name Elvin Dorsey, would attempt to get rid of several witnesses in the case by ambushing them at their homes, with these attempts fortunately failing, despite the authorities finding 43 spent rounds at the scene. But the most explosive part about this incident was that, according to Reddit rumors, it in fact targeted the home of none other than J Money and his family, with a screenshot of an affidavit later being posted to Reddit that showed J Money telling the police that the shooters were targeting him because he planned on testifying in the murder trial against the Fast Cash members who had allegedly killed Young Key. It seems that J Money never got on the stand though, and the Fast Cash members would end up beating the charges, as they would years later tell in their interview with DGB Media.
So what would you say is one of the biggest life lessons you guys learned?
Man, we went through it together.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it probably was the toughest. It was the toughest situation we probably been through.
Had a little charge. We had a little murder charge.
That's not a little charge. That's a major charge.
Yeah, it right there. Like waking up not knowing if you finna come home or not. You know what I'm saying? You telling your folks you finna be home this week. This next court day they sit y'all. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be strong for this shit. This shit went on for a couple years type shit.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying?
We overcame it though.
We overcame it. Sure.
Misunderstand.
Yeah. Both of you guys were charged?
Yeah, we both were charged.
Jeez.
But while the war in the streets kept escalating, something would also begin to go wrong in the relationship between young Dolph and Yo Gotti. Because in October 2013, young Dolph would release the song
Dolph was hating.
Dolph would release the song Scared of Me, where he appeared to be taking direct shots at someone whose name he was keeping a secret, but whose baby mother he had apparently been intimate with. So again, right, I'm going to circle back to the J Money True La Mafia situation in a minute. But now what we're seeing is Yo Gotti ain't really done nothing to nobody at this point, okay?
Why are you doing this? Really what made this nigga go on the offense for young Gotti?
Affiliating with all of these guys that are having shootouts with Yo Gotti, having these problems. These guys are having serious situations. They're going to war. North versus South Memphis. True La Mafia are getting involved. And then young Dolph jumps on the mic talking about, you still tricking on that girl? I still F with your baby mama? Like all of this stuff. I ain't going to say the name. The streets know what's up. And he is madly disrespecting Yo Gotti here. So look, you can go and watch the video yourself if you want. There's a whole bunch more back and forth. They're shooting at each other. Young Dolph, Yo Gotti, there's all these crazy stuff going on, all right? And Young Dolph just keeps leaning into the beef. But I'm jumping forward to basically explain to you how the J Money True La Mafia situation got worse, because essentially all of these different conflicting street beefs are going on, and then you've got these two record labels, CMG and PRE, together trying to make the most of the music scene. And that's when Young Dolph basically pops out. He signs J Money from True La Mafia, and then that ends up leading to this whole situation that unfortunately got Dolph killed, because then True La Mafia are beefing with this other crew, Double R, and it all just gets out of control. So I'll play you this, and then I'll tell you why people are really upset with me.
I've been spraying your for years. The whole city know that. Gotti, you was I just got back to the city. They say you trying to put charges on me and put the police on me. You seen your little to do all your talking. Talk for yourself. That big head down syndrome looking hate on everybody from the city that gets some real money. You start out hating on 360. They were having Oscars and you had to hate because you were broke. That's the only way you can get attention, boy. You were broke, boy. Now you're hating on Dolph.
Towards the end of March 2016, Dolph was also captured on video telling a live concert audience about his favorite topic, sleeping with Yo Gotti's baby mother.
Check this out. Y'all gonna write it in there. The little dudes look broke, little Pee-wee. I don't even know this shit. His boss know. He said, man, come baby mama, this all that.
It's never been easier to start a podcast than with Riverside.
That nigga Dolph was popping his shit, man.
Look, Dolph was overly antagonizing Yo Gotti, man. There ain't no two ways about it. A surprising but crucial piece in this growing beef between Dolph and Gotti would end up being none other than J Money from the True La Mafia, who so far had been close with both sides, as he had posted himself meeting Dolph numerous times throughout 2015, as well as other people associated with Paper Route Empire, and he'd even repped PRE solo by wearing their hoodie. But he had also been meeting with Yo Gotti too, even having video calls with him, as well as hanging out with Yo Gotti's shooter, Black Youngster. However, it seems that in April 2016, J Money would choose his side, as he would post several pictures on his Instagram of him meeting with Dolph and his business partner Daddio, as well as other PRE members during a listening party for the PRE mixtape Bosses and Shooters, captioning one photo by saying that he looks at Dolph and Daddio as brothers, and he was right with them, right or wrong. A few days later, he posted another photo, this time writing that he didn't give an F about what people thought about him hanging out with Dolph, and said that it was all love between them. In the coming months, J Money would keep posting himself together with Dolph, showing that they were even making music together. Moreover, based on how much he was also seemingly spending time with Daddio, it seemed that either Daddio had begun to manage him too, or he was perhaps about to even sign with Paper Route Empire. And in July, he would in fact call both Dolph and Daddio his CEOs, while also making music with other PRE artists like Jay Fizzle. Then in early August, J Money would come out with a big announcement, saying that he was joining Dolph for his royalty tour that lasted the entire month. And soon, he would indeed post photos from the tour, showing himself posing next to the tour bus during their third stop in San Diego. However, for some reason, J Money would return back to Memphis before the tour was over, and in the early morning hours of August the 20th, he would be at the Kittens Cabaret strip club in South Memphis around 4 a.m. as J Money was seemingly hanging out in the club's parking lot. A shooting would take place. When the police arrived at the scene soon after, they would find an unresponsive J Money, real name Jerome White, with a fatal gunshot wound, which would end his life seemingly as he was just about to take his rap career to the next level with Dolph and Daddio. His killer was identified as 37-year-old Freddie Yarborough, who was captured a few months later, and he would eventually plead guilty to the murder, which the prosecutors described as gang-related. J Money had been highly respected in Memphis, and he was considered someone who received love in the city, no matter where he went. Although in the months leading up to his death, he had seemingly chosen his side in the war between Dolph and Yo Gotti. But in the years following J Money's death, his absence in the streets would cause a domino effect with enormous consequences, causing old gangs to splinter into new ones, and eventually causing his gang, the True La Mafia, to do a complete 180 with some of his best friends turning on young Dolph and the PRE, with all of this eventually culminating to the boiling point where they would eventually hunt down and assassinate Dolph in broad daylight. To fully understand the events that led to Dolph's murder, we need to have a quick overview of things that would take place in South Memphis and gang underworld in the late 2010s, as J Money's death in 2016 coincided with a period in Memphis when the homicide rate began sharply rising. In the streets, this rise in homicides would coincide with an increasing splintering of gangs to even smaller cliques, creating a highly complex web of new alliances and rivalries. Without the leadership of J Money, his True La Mafia would break down, with some of the newer generation keeping affiliations with the original True La Mafia, but also starting some new cliques, one of these being called the Ape Gang, while another one became known as Young and Ruthless, aka YNR, as well as Off the Crank, or OTC. Meanwhile, other members would move on to start a completely new gang called Double R, which stands for Rich and Ruthless. Perhaps the best known Double R member would be the rapper Big Scar, real name Alexander Woods, who still repped Trula at the end of 2016, but already by mid-2017, he had seemingly begun repping the Double R. Things would then take a deadly turn in the summer of 2018, when Double R member BG, aka Baby Grape, real name Malik Holland, was allegedly murdered by 3 Trula members, C-Mode, Lil Zay, and Go Crazy, real name Carlos Lacey, who would end up getting charged with the murder.
Alright, man, be easy, good brother. Appreciate the support, man.
This video at this stage, but as you can see, the Memphis streets are very complicated. It's very confusing. It's very serious, and all of these things culminated in Young Dolph getting killed. Now, J Money was a beloved member of the True La Mafia. Okay, Obviously, his passing led to complete fracture within that gang. Now, Young Dolph and Paper Route Empire were showing love to J Money. They were putting him on. They were trying to sign him. But when he passed away, that just led to a whole bunch of these True Mafia members all splitting up. You got Double R, all these different groups that popped off. And then in the end, some people that weren't really on Dolph's side, they end up not rocking with him, okay? And that ultimately leads to Young Dolph losing his life, and it's very, very messed up, okay? But one of the things that obviously really upset somebody, all right? I'm going to tell you now, okay? I'm going to tell you now exactly what happened. It was this moment, okay, when we're talking about J Money and them trying to invade his home in the lead up to that trial.
Boy, another damn commercial. I feel so bad some of these great talents are laid to rest.
Based on my research,
from beats fueled by words and actions of others behind the scenes. No, that's real.
And then he retracted it. Okay, I'm going to replay you this, and I'm going to show you what people. Another Fast Cash member called Chopper Suge, real name Elvin Dorsey, would attempt to get rid of several witnesses in the case by ambushing them at their homes, with these attempts fortunately failing, despite the authorities finding 43 spent rounds at the scene. But the most explosive part about this incident was that, according to Reddit rumors, it in fact targeted the home of none other than J Money and his family. So they're saying J Money retracted his statement. The only proof we got of him is the news saying that Chopper Suge shot up a witness to Young Key murder house when he shot J Money's crib up. So apparently, okay, they were trying to take out witnesses on this case, and they shot up J Money's house. Now, I did post the alleged paperwork, but to be fair, I also did post the comment saying that that's the incident was that, according to Reddit rumors, it in fact targeted the home of none other than J Money and his family, with a screenshot of an affidavit later being posted to Reddit that showed J Money telling the police that the shooters were targeting him because he planned on testifying in the murder trial against the Fast Cash members who had allegedly killed Young Key. So this basically is you know, an affidavit that was posted. It says, according to White, he's a witness to the homicide of Keyshawn White, which occurred on March 28, 2014. He plans to testify in that incident where Suge was involved. And he basically explains White advised that he pulled into his driveway, blew the horn to warn occupants inside the residence. He ran up to the resident, and that time shots begun to be fired at him. He's also this other person, who is also a witness to the homicide, advised she looked outside from the inside and recognized 3 of the men who were shooting. Young named Elvin Dorsey as one of the shooters and positively identified him in the lineup. Now, what's interesting here, okay, is that, like, they're basically saying Jerome White, who is actually J Money, okay, it says that he was a witness to, according to White, he is a witness to the homicide of Keyshawn White, and he planned to testify in the incident in which Suge was involved. Now, this is, the police have written this statement that are basically saying, according to them, that's what he said. Okay, but then it's saying Young, who I believe is the female, Crystal Young, who is a witness to the homicide, she basically identified the shooters and identified somebody in a 6-person lineup. Now, I don't know if there was some confusion about this, whether it sounded like I was trying to say that J Money was pointing someone out, but he is mentioned in this paperwork. Okay, I can't count to the absolute authenticity of this paperwork, but essentially, okay, I'm on a different camera now because it's that serious. Okay, essentially, this upset some of the most fearsome members in Memphis. Okay, one particular person who, you know, I've had a little back and forth with. Hernandez Govern, man, the alleged mastermind behind the Young Dolph hit. Okay, he beat the charges. All right, so he's alleged mastermind. We can't say that he's really the mastermind. Okay, but he popped out. He saw the documentary. He said somebody must have gave you some fake paperwork on J Money, True Mafia. All right, so he wasn't happy. All right, he posted this. He also hit me up privately. He said, "Yo, we got to clear the air. I can't have no disrespect to J Money." Now, look, I really wasn't my intention to put no disrespect on J Money. I did clap back with a little bit of saltiness. Okay, I did say, well, look, are you going to clear it up, or are you ducking the interview? Because I want him to clear this up. And this is no disrespect, okay? I know he was ducking a few interviews. You know what I'm saying? He maybe didn't want to get down with Flacco. Maybe he felt disrespected by Flacco from No Jumper. I know he had a back and forth. Ceddy Nash said he was going to punch Hernandez Govern up, but that never happened. I don't know if he ever caught him outside in LA. I don't know if Ceddy Nash even been back to LA since then, because I know Hernandez Govern was applying pressure. So I said, look, are you going to clear it up, or are you ducking the interview? Now, he responded to that once again. I'm not gonna lie, he kind of applied some pressure to me in this one. I'm not gonna lie. He said, "Traplaw Ross, why didn't you produce your fake paperwork about J Money in my face?" And I did bump into Hernandez Govern at No Jumper, man, and he was cool. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit scared because I done heard the stories. I know the reputation, right? He said, "Why didn't you produce your fake paperwork when I see you face to face?" Now, in my defense, I hadn't actually seen that paperwork at that point in time, okay? This was a whole investigation that we had going on for months. When I met him, I hadn't finished the script. I hadn't got all of that laid down, but clearly he is very upset. So look, all right, I'm not ducking any fades. Well, I'm ducking fades, but I'm not ducking any debates. All right. I'm not trying to duck any debates. All right. I personally.
That nigga said I'm not ducking any fades.
Whether we do it in
Where
person,
you gonna get your ass kicked?
He's got a channel. You know, let me just see. Let me just see what the platform is looking like, man. So
every month, this Airbnb
that nigga gonna get his ass kicked.
Passive income. Now, here's the thing: I don't own it.
So this is his channel, Bet with Quet, all right? This is the official channel of Hernandez Govern, okay? He's now making content, okay? He's reacting to stuff.
Now he got you doing promotion. You scared as fuck.
Any wrongdoing in the case. And basically...
Get the fuck out of here.
Like, I'm basically trying to
no
decide if I'm going to have a
debates.
conversation with him. So we're going to work this out. If you guys want to see me have that conversation, okay? Let's clear the air. If he wants to set the record...
So look, not only is this nigga just got on here and just did this motherfucking shit basically saying, you know, it was Dolph's fault. He was the antagonist. Now he on here shouting out this nigga YouTube channel and shit. He ain't have to do all this. Quick got to his ass.
Straight, I'm down to do it. Okay, we got his channel here.
We got his channel, yeah.
Okay, so right now, all right, the ball is in your court, Hernandez. Okay, it was no disrespect. I'm not trying to have any beef. I really don't want to get no. I don't know if I can even go to Memphis now with what's going on, okay? But I do want to clear the air. If you want to set the record straight, if you want to clear up this paperwork, let's do it. You can come on my platform.
Set the record straight.
And we can just set the record straight because I really don't want these problems. But at the end of the day, I do feel like a lot of people are just a little bit upset because I've put out a lot of facts about the Memphis scene that maybe weren't so well known or weren't so seen. If that paperwork's fake, I'm willing to throw my hands up and say it was fake paperwork. It shouldn't have been put out there. I can trim it out of the video. But if it was real, maybe it was misinterpreted. Maybe the police kind of spun it a certain way that it wasn't meant to be spun. Maybe they were kind of, maybe they were writing like he was cooperating more than he really was because that was a police report. That wasn't a sworn statement by him. But yeah, look, if you want to know the full backstory, man, go and watch the video that I did about the young Dolph.
That's crazy. Leave these damn people alone, goddammit. Traplo Ross. Leave these people alone, man. Leave these people the fuck alone. You want some bloody tea and crumpets? You won't have a debate with bloody tea and crumpets. Motherfucker gonna punch you in the face. I still gotta do this episode about how he act when he ran up on the Central C nigga. This nigga was acting like a tough guy. That's crazy. I'll probably wrap that up. We did about 2 hours. I'll probably get into that tomorrow, man. Tonight, what do we go over, man? We went over that despicable motherfucker, Jesse Butler, who need to be thrown under the jail, who didn't get no jail time after essaying 2 young ladies. And they even said that there may be a third victim who hasn't spoken up yet, so that's crazy. So that he's already been a repeat offender 3 times, and he still didn't face any jail time. He went from 70 years to no jail time. That's absolutely crazy. And then we also got to the story, man. Show the Central C. Nah, man, I gotta say that for tomorrow. I got that wrote down on Monday schedule. You talk about show the Central C. We'll be back tomorrow though, 7 p.m. to goddamn 7 p.m. to goddamn 10 p.m. We had the goddamn story of the father, man, who, oh man, that shit fucked up. We had the story of a Ferguson father whose daughter was man, brutally sexually assaulted as well, man. And they was by his damn family. What time? 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This story was so fucked up, man. A dad in Ferguson. Where the fuck is Ferguson? Where's Ferguson? Ferguson. Damn, where the fuck is that? Ferguson. Where's Ferguson? In the East Coast. Be 10 o'clock y'all time. 10 o'clock on y'all time. A father of Ferguson who reported the rape of his teenage daughter was murdered because he didn't take a $12,000 bribe. That would have, man, that's absolutely crazy. Much love, Thomas, for rocking out with me tonight. We had that story, and then we had the retaliation of Big U. Son got gunned down, man. They had a fake story going around that the killer was caught. They actually didn't catch the killer. That was fake news. And then they got this story they spinning saying an hour later, 3 bodies were hit. You feel me? Nobody died. They ain't reporting no deaths, but 3 people got shot over in the Hoover area, and they blaming the Hoovers for this murder. So they said retaliation went down an hour later. And then we got this bloody Harry Potter from across the pond in trouble in Memphis over another one of his documentaries that he did on Young Dolph, basically saying, you know, it's Young Dolph's fault that he got shot and for putting out some misinformation on one of the brothers from the Trula Mafia. So we're going to get to the motherfucking other Trapler Ross shit tomorrow. Me and Trapler Ross and Central C situation. We're going to get to that tomorrow. Much love and appreciate everybody who came and rocked out with us, man. I ain't going to hold y'all up too much longer without any further ado. That's the intro. My bad. I ain't gonna hold y'all up too much longer, man. Y'all already know what to do, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And we'll be back with another one when we got another one. And, man, what's the British dude's YouTube? The British dude YouTube is Trap Law Ross. Trap Law Ross. Oh, yeah, you got that nigga be doing 3-hour documentaries on niggas. That's the nigga that said that he put all the dots together saying that King Von is a serial killer. That's a good one. If you got like a job or some shit where you just be sitting back and some shit bored, that's a good one to watch for shit show. Or some shit to listen to on the way to work if you be stuck in traffic like I do. Y'all be easy, man. Y'all, like I said, it's a crazy world out here, man. Make sure you tell somebody you love them. Be smooth.